Hey there, and welcome to this year's Unqualified Opinion Draft Livestream. I'm Will Byerman, alongside our new guy here, Lucas Sinnott. How you doing, man?
Doing great.
Excited to be joining the team.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, so as you guys can probably guess, had some technical difficulties so far, but we're ready now. So as we wait for Carolina to make their pick, Lucas, what have you thought of the first 5 picks? We saw Jaguars take Trayvon Walker number 1. Detroit took Aiden Hutchinson number 2. Derek Stingley went to the Texans at 3. Sauce Gardner went to the Jets at 4. And then the last pick, number 5, Kayvon Thibodeau, went to the New York Giants. Lucas, what do you think about that? How you feeling?
Sorry, 1 second.
All right, rolling on. Carolina.
Sorry.
So me and Lucas here each have our own Unqualified Opinions official mock draft made. And the Panthers are definitely one of the interesting swing spots in the draft. This is probably the first spot we could realistically see a trade. Personally, I've been taking Charles Cross, the tackle from Mississippi State. However, Ikem Okonkwo, Evan Neal, Charles Cross, all these top 3 tackles are currently available. I think the Panthers came into the spot expecting Neal
and Okonkwo to both be off the board, so this certainly makes it interesting. Do they trade? Do they do what some think and really take a big swing on Kenny Pickett or Malik Willis? Lucas, what do you think they're doing?
Carolina?
Yeah.
Yeah, Carolina. I think they go for a tackle. I mean, they've been looking for one for forever, and all 3 of them are still there on the board, so I think they're going to take probably Evan Neal. I think he's the best out of the 3 of them.
I'm going to go in a disagreement with you there. I think Okonkwo, he's on my personal big board, he's the second best player. I think he's the best O-lineman in the entire draft. I think that's the pick, but I think Carolina's had problems at tackle for such a long time. They have a really great right tackle, Taylor Moton, so they could really just shore up that O-line on the bookends for a long time. But again, that quarterback temptation is still there. Lucas, do you think we're going to see Kenny Pickett or Malik Willis going off the board?
Not at 6, no. I think the Panthers are going to pass on them. I think their need at tackle is much greater than at quarterback, especially since they re-signed Sam Darnold.
Yeah, I think I could maybe see Willis being this pick, but I think if a quarterback's getting taken at 6th with these tackles available, I think it's going to be by a different team. I think Carolina has trade potential. Lucas, what teams do you think you could see, making a move into the top 10?
I could definitely see Vikings probably.
You'd love that.
I would love to see my Vikings make it into the 6th pick.
For all the newcomers to our lives, to Unqualified Opinions of what we do here, you're looking at 2 proud NFC North cellar dweller fans. Got Lions and Viking ups here, but me, I'm doing well right now, my friend. Hutchinson's been my guy. Number 1 player on my board, entire draft process. We're rolling, we're walking on a nay here.
My dad.
He's a converted production guy. We brought him in for a couple draft visits, checked out what he could do on the mic, made the big swing. We're going to see how it goes.
I could see, Vikings going for it, and then I think they go in and they take Jermaine Johnson at 6.
Jermaine Johnson's been getting a lot of buzz as a top 10 guy, especially now that so with those top 3 defensive ends off the board, Johnson certainly becomes a target for some trade-ups. I think if any team moves in to this spot, I think it's going to be the Eagles. Some people think they could take a quarterback. That's less likely, but for me, I think it really could be wide receiver. Garrett Wilson is getting some love in kind of the 5, 6, 7 spot. Super dynamic receiver out of Ohio State. So this is kind of been locked in for me as the most interesting pick of the draft to this point. The Texans had a lot of intrigue too, just because, when we got on Pro Football Focus to make those mock drafts, their needs is listed as every position.
Yeah.
But I think as far as drama goes, Panthers is far and away kind of the more interesting option there.
I could also see any team looking for a tackle try and trade up and get into the higher picks. I'd probably say maybe the Saints, maybe the Chargers. But yeah.
Sorry, just getting that link out here to the fan base. You know, literally the 1 year we're running behind is the year I get like 20 people in my phone asking where it is.
Yeah, you're popular. You know, you gotta get that word out.
Oh, it's not me. We know what they're here for. People see Paul Hires. Shout out to our awesome manager, producer. You know, Paul Hires, the boy running the channel, the boy running the whole program here. When people see his name attached to a product like this stream, they're on board with it. You know?
Yeah.
Give him some love in the comments.
Let's go over our draft so far. I had Trayvon first. Or Trayvon, sorry, my bad. I always say his name wrong. I had Walker go.
He fits Detroit. He fits Dan Campbell's style. And, I mean, he was just a dominant lineman at the collegiate level as Ikem Ekonwu. I always mess that one up. Ike Ekonwu comes off the board at 6th. My top tackle, 2nd overall player, Carolina, getting a rock-solid bookend for the foreseeable future. I mean, people are talking about Ekonwu being a generational prospect. He could play guard or tackle. I mean, if they're drafting him this high, tackle, but he's a lot like Penei Sewell was to me last year. You know, he's just an absolutely solid O-lineman. He was, again, by far and away my second best prospect in this draft. That's an easy A for me.
Yeah, I like this pick. I mean, I would have thought that they would have taken Evan Neal. I feel like he was one of the best, if not the best tackle in the class, but you know, they're not missing anything here. They got one of the 2 best tackles in the draft, and nothing but up from here.
So now, if you're the Giants,
you
with,
draft a tackle.
with tackle being a need, are you? Because the controversy here is one. I think the obvious instinct for you and me, because you had Neal as the best tackle, I have him at second best. Just sprint up to that podium, get Evan Neal. But the rumors for the entire draft process have been that Charles Cross from Mississippi State has been the guy for Giants. That I think is definitely going to be one of the more interesting things to watch. And I mean, we're at the 4:30 mark for the clock for the picks. It's been a fast-moving draft so far. Detroit made their pick in 2 minutes 30 seconds. It's been pretty rapid fire so far. So I'm sure the Giants, who, by the way, it must be noted, have been actively shopping this 7th pick to teams like the Eagles, like the Vikings. This could be where we see a move. The Texans are trying to trade up into the top 10 as well. So I think this is definitely going to be the slower pick. But who do you have going in your mock?
I had Gardner going at 7, but of course that was wrecked immediately.
I had Kayvon Thibodeau, so we can see a little flip flop here, I guess.
I mean, I had Thibodeau going at 5 because I thought that there would be a tackle left for them to take it at 7. But now that both of them are there, I think that Neal goes now. Either that or they're going to trade out because, well, I guess they could go for Cross, but I don't think they're going to trade out now that Cross and Neal are still on the board.
It's going to be interesting to see for sure. I think it would definitely take kind of a king's ransom situation.
Yeah, I mean,
at this point. But I mean, there are teams like the Vikings. I think the Vikings have 10 picks, right? Or have 10 draft picks right now. Ravens too. It kind of depends on the philosophy. If you're a team like the Lions, you're going to want to use every draft pick you have, get new guys in there. But I mean, the Ravens too at 14. They're close enough to contending. They might not want to carry 10 rookies into the draft, into the offseason. So we'll have to see what's up. The pick is now in, and we're just waiting it out. Lucas, do you have draft grades for those top 6 picks so far?
Yeah. I mean, number 1 pick, obviously, Trayvon Walker's a good pick. He's going to fit that Jacksonville defense perfectly. He's going to fit in with that squad. I definitely give it at least an A, maybe an A-. Aiden Hutchinson, A+. You can never go wrong with a guy like that.
So that's where I've gone with my grades so far. So I guess we can both just kind of jump in here. Derek Stingley, 3rd overall.
I don't like it as much. I mean, he's still a great player. We saw that at LSU in 2020. Yeah, that in 2020. He didn't play at all this past season because he's been injured. But I would say probably a B-. I mean, he's a great player, but he's injury prone, which is something that you don't look for.
Yeah, I got the same grade on him. I have a B- written down. It's just like Trayvon Walker, as much as I like the player, I don't think he's the best player at his position. I had the 4th pick, Ahmad Gardner, Sauce, who showed up with a truly 1st overall pick level chain.
Yeah.
Absolutely crazy there. Yeah, I think Gardner's just the better cornerback, than Stingley was. So as much as I like Stingley, that's a B-. And just to jump to Gardner quick, easy A for me for the Jets. I mean, he didn't allow a touchdown in college.
Yeah.
And he played Bama. He was playing high-level teams
for 4 years. And 0 touchdowns. Oh.
And the pick is in. Evan Neal, New York Giants at 7 again.
Yeah.
They've got to be just over the moon, right? I mean, you can see there. It looks like some Giants fan in the 1st row has brought an Evan Neal headband from home. So, I mean, wow, for the Giants, for a team that continuously seems to find ways to kind of screw stuff up, you're getting Thibodeau and Neal.
Yeah.
And you didn't have to move around at all.
No.
I mean, you got to love that value for your Giants fan. I mean, Evan Neal, massive prospect at tackle. He can also play guard, and more than anything, he has expressed a willingness to play guard. Not many guys who consider themselves to be a left tackle are going to want to go in there play guard. Versatile lineman, huge guy. Like, again, a lot of people have him over Ekwonu. I mean, this is an absolute. This is an A. It's an easy A.
Yeah, I mean, where else are you going to find a guy that's 6'8", 335 pounds?
And he moves well too. And again, he was playing those Georgia guys. We're probably going to see. We saw Walker off the board. We're going to see Jordan Davis and Devontae White in the 1st round, more likely than not. I mean, he's playing against SEC level guys all the time. Neal's an absolute slam dunk for the Giants at 7.
And now we got the Falcons.
Another weird team. I mean, their biggest need is listed as quarterback. I don't quite think they want to mess with that yet. They are a team that's kind of been linked to Jimmy Garoppolo. It's currently being linked to the Falcons, the Panthers, and now the Texans, actually.
Yeah.
Now, I think for the Texans, that's a big mistake. Roll with Davis Mills. If he's bad, draft a quarterback 1st overall next season, because he'll probably be there. But I don't think you bring in a veteran like Jimmy Garoppolo for a team that's doesn't really have a path to that much success. But Falcons, receiver, huge need. Right now, their best overall receiver is Olamide Zaccheaus.
Yeah, I don't even know who
I was gonna say, that's my next question. Are you familiar? He's an electric 3rd receiver.
Yeah.
He's got some good skills, but he's not the guy you want to be targeting.
Not as your main guy. No.
Yeah, he's not a main option there. So Garrett Wilson from Ohio State is the guy I have going here. But again, we are kind of firmly Seattle, Carolina, 2nd Giants pick. And the Falcons, this is trade-up territory for a lot of teams. I'm interested to see if we're going to see a move here. So far, I think the most interesting quote I saw from ESPN before this was one GM said the first 2 picks are going to go as planned, and then all hell's going to break loose. Kind of waiting for that, honestly. I mean, it's such an uncertain draft class. There's no Trevor Lawrences. There's no huge names like that.
So far, I haven't been disappointed. I mean, my entire draft is pretty much blown to bits already, but yeah, I've been surprised so far.
So far, everyone's just coming out sensible.
Yeah.
Making smart foundational picks, and not much drama yet, honestly.
Yeah.
I think the strangest move we've seen so far is Stingley going to the Texans, and even that's an easily defendable move.
I mean, yeah, that's what they were looking for. I had Stingley going to the Falcons at 8. And I could definitely see them going for a wide receiver. But I could also see them going for, Jermaine Johnson.
Jermaine Johnson is, again, the big rumor is that he won't make it past 10 with the Jets. I could see him being targeted by Seattle. I could see the Falcons, going after it too. we got about 4 minutes left before the Falcons have to have their picking, so I'm assuming they're currently, heavily manning the phones right now, trying to make a trade happen. But I'm going to stick with Garrett Wilson. I just think there's probably not a team with a worse pass-catching group right now. They have Kyle Pitts, and that's about it.
Well, if they want to stick with the Alabama business, they can just go with Williams. Sorry.
And Jameson Williams will miss most of, if not all, of his rookie season. But as talented of a receiver as he was, if he was healthy, easy top 10 guy.
Yeah.
You can easily defend for a team that is, firmly rebuilding. You could easily, in my mind, take Jameson Williams at 8, wait till next year, draft a top quarterback, and let them develop as rookies together.
I mean, that's kind of what they did with Calvin Ridley, except they're not going to have Calvin Ridley for most of the next season because
of his gambling thing was one of the most bizarre off-season stories, and that's debating that issue is another thing for another time in another video. But I think that's been one of the more fascinating sports stories we've seen so far.
No.
Betting on your own team to win,
and then getting banned, which is we're not going to go into that though. I could talk for hours on that.
So the pick is in. ESPN's little draft cast says that Garrett Wilson's the best available. Charles Cross is the best fit.
Which,
oh wow! And the pick is in. It is Drake London.
The
6'4", 220 receiver. He's tight end size, moves like a wideout, and you got to look at the stats for this guy, Lucas, because he played. I think he missed a good chunk of his college season, but he had a full season of stats in 10 games or in 6 games or something.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pull that up for you, but yeah, this is.
Are we talking like Calvin Johnson size?
Pretty close, yeah. I mean, he's obviously not the same level athlete, the same level player that Calvin Johnson was for Detroit there, but he's a big dude. I'm personally surprised. I really thought Wilson was going to go first. And London's been a guy we've seen rise up and down the boards. I've seen him as low as the 20s at times. I've seen him, I think usually I've had him coming off the board starting at 10th with the Jets. So looking at his senior season, 1,084 yards, 7 touchdowns. And he did that in 5 games, Lucas.
5 games?
Unless ESPN isn't loading some.
1,800 yards?
Not 5 ones. 8 games. 1,000 yards, 7 touchdowns, 8 games. That's some crazy production. He did that for USC team that really went through quarterbacks at a higher rate. Yeah. That's a full season of stats. You look at him up there.
That's close to 200 yards a game.
You look at him up there on our highlight tape.
That's more than 200
massive
yards a game. That's crazy.
So yeah, I'd say this is the first big surprise of the draft for me so far. He's a good player.
That is a huge surprise.
I didn't think he'd ever be this high up. Taking a look at where he was on my mock draft, I had him
at 13.
I had him dropping all the way to 15 with the Eagles,
which is, yeah. I mean, I have him at 13.
But
that's crazy.
But to be honest, it's hard for me not to like this pick. I mean, he's going to be compared to Garrett Wilson for the rest of his career. But Garrett Wilson, he's an average size receiver. He's got elite route running. He's really fast. He's kind of the opposite of Drake London. His biggest knock in the pre-draft process has been people being concerned if he moves like a wide receiver, or if he's just going to be too big and kind of stiff as a route runner. But I mean, whoever the Falcons have starting at quarterback, probably Mariota right now. You got Kyle Pitts. You got a 6'4" wide receiver. And honestly, the addition of a big wideout makes Olamide Zaccheaus, who we kind of hated on. I mean, that really opens it up for him as a slot guy and as a speed guy. So if their goal was to complement their receiver group, if they're picking for fit rather than best overall, this is a good pick for them. I'm going to give it a B.
Yeah, I would definitely give it a B. I would almost give it an A minus because if you think about it, once Calvin Ridley comes back, how tall is Calvin Ridley? Like 6'4", 6'5"?
About 6'1".
He's only
6'2".
6'1".
Calvin Ridley's not that tall.
It doesn't really matter. He's a quality receiver.
And he matches what London brings to the table and Zacchaeus brings to the table. So it's going to be
and then on the end you have Kyle
interesting,
Pitts, which is another huge target.
And look for Kyle Pitts to absolutely blow up this season.
Yeah,
I think he's going to get, despite what's going to probably be mediocre quarterback production, he's going to go off. Looking at our producer Paul. Paul, see you chuckling over there. Have the fellas arrived in the comments?
One man in the comments.
Keeping it classy, keeping it clean this year. All right, Lucas, Seahawks at 9. Again, could we finally see a trade here?
We could, but I still don't think they're going to trade up. I mean, especially since Jermaine Johnson's still there.
I had him taking Stingley. I think right now on my board, Charles Cross is my top guy who's still available. And right after him is Garrett Wilson.
You have him taking Stingley?
Yeah, so Stingley's gone. I mean, Cross is the safe pick here.
He's the safe pick, and they need a tackle, so I guess that would be it.
But Garrett Wilson would also be, a pretty phenomenal fit for a Seahawks team that could use some more weapons at wide receiver, especially with the uncertainty at quarterback they got right now. I mean, right now, the boy Drew Lock preparing to suit up as the starting quarterback for Seattle. I could see them trading down to take a quarterback, to be honest. I think if you trade down 5 or 6 spots for Seattle, I think you could take Kenny Pickett or Desmond Ridder. Or even Malik
could agree
Willis.
with that, yeah.
It's, just for our take on the quarterbacks, Malik Willis to me has a good lead over Pickett for best overall quarterback. But he's going to be a Trey Lance situation where you need to sit and wait a year, maybe more, before he's ready to be the number one guy on your team, before he's ready to be that star quarterback. So I think for teams like Seattle, Kenny Pickett or Desmond Ridder almost makes more sense than Willis. So I think that's what I'd probably do if I'm Seattle at this point. If their front office likes a Kenny Pickett, a Desmond Ridder, even a Malik Willis, I'd say this is where you trade back, let someone give you some more draft considerations, and start rebuilding with a young core, because Seattle is, with Russell Wilson gone, Bobby Wagner gone, they're pretty clearly committed to tearing this thing down. So it's cross or trade down, I think.
I think they might stick with Cross. I mean, I feel like getting an offensive line under you is better than getting a new quarterback.
Yeah.
Because a quarterback is a temporary solve. Getting a new line is a permanent solve.
I honestly agree with that logic. If you look at what teams like Detroit's doing, like what the Giants are doing with Neal, and what Carolina's doing with Quandre, once you get that O-line in there, the more you can, you almost want to start setting up to draft the right quarterback. If you take the best quarterback in the class and you have no receivers, no O-line, it can completely ruin a career of a really talented quarterback. And people are always going to blame the quarterback, but if you just throw a guy into the fire, like so many teams do, like Trevor Lawrence, mediocre offensive line, mediocre receiver group. Same with Zach Wilson, they both just got absolutely shelled. So there is something to be said for getting those linemen ready, getting the receivers ready, and then take the right quarterback you've had a couple of years to look at.
The way I see it, though, is that Jacksonville didn't have a choice. He was the best guy
Trevor
on the board.
Lawrence is, I will continue to defend Trevor Lawrence. He didn't have the production you want to see as a rookie, but, come on. He would not be the first rookie quarterback we see to have a disappointing first year and then absolutely change around. Come on, Peyton Manning threw the most picks in the league his rookie season. Look how he turned out. Which, yes, I recognize is kind of the chief man's argument there, but I'm excited to see who Seattle takes here. I think Drake London really flipped a switch of kind of randomness and excitement so far. So
I have him taking Jermaine Johnson.
Can we get a Jameson Williams?
I could see it. That's why I have going number 10. So
I think that's the most I know the kind of a double negative, but that's the most reasonable surprise to me would be Jameson Williams in this spot, and Charles Cross.
Yep.
keeping it safe.
I mean, I didn't think
Can't
Cross was going to last this long.
Can't fault him. I mean,
He's a safe bet.
there's 3 teams right now who are jumping for joy because they got stud offensive tackles who should have been going in the top 6 picks later than they had to.
I mean, honestly, if Cross makes it to 12, I wouldn't be mad if my team took him.
And if I'm the New York Jets, I'm loving it right now because, again, everything says they're enamored with Jermaine Johnson, but
Yeah.
you got Zach Wilson. I will also continue to defend Zach Wilson. I think he's an absolutely electric player. I loved watching him play as a rookie, and he had some bad moments, sure, but I think the talent and the skill is there. I mean, if you can get him Garrett Wilson, what would that do for his career?
Yeah.
See, you pretty much got 2 of the best possible options at pick 10. If you get Johnson or Wilson, they're both pretty much A's, A minuses in my book. By the way, I mean, Cross gets an A.
Yeah.
I can't argue with that.
Cross goes at 9.
Cross at 9.
And
You know what that means for our offensive tackles? It's Trevor Penning time.
yeah.
Absolute monster of a mauler
big
from
boy.
North Iowa. Northern Iowa, if he gets drafted in the first like he's supposed to, they're going to have offensive linemen drafted in the first 2 rounds back-to-back years.
Which is insane for a college that's not known for being very famous in the draft.
We see University of Iowa every year take Iowa linemen like Tyler Linderbaum,
Yeah.
making first-round draft picks. Is that the new trend now? We're just going to have North Iowa come in, take the guys who slip past Iowa. I mean, Spencer Brown and Trevor Penning are going to be 2 staples of the NFL offensive line
Yeah,
game
they're
for a
gonna be
long
great.
time now.
But that kind of shakes stuff up. So Johnson's still available. Williams, Wilson. I mean, the Jets have so many options right now.
I almost don't want to mention it just because I'm going to start looking like a broken record, but trade.
I mean, I could see it. I could see them trading down because there's so much value right now.
I've heard the Eagles are a team that wants to be active in getting into the top 10. There's 2 guys, Wilson and Johnson are guys you trade up for.
Yeah.
The Eagles have needs at both of those positions. I could see that happening. You know, it's going to be interesting to see what the Jets do here.
I think at this point, I don't think the Vikings trade up. It's too close to their pick.
Yeah, you're going to chill. You're going to watch Johnson, Wilson, or Kyle Hamilton, who, by the way, I will say, he would be off the board if he wasn't a safety.
Yeah.
It's a positional value thing. It's the same reason you'll see guys like Linderbaum, a great center, not a position of value. He's not going to go top 10. Pick is in for the Jets, but, you know, as is customary, we must now wait several minutes before that pick is released. So, fun times. We'll jump ahead. We'll take a look at the best available players right now. Top five ranked currently available players according to ESPN. Garrett Wilson, Kyle Hamilton, Jordan Davis, who just had the most insane combine I've ever seen for a 340-pound defensive tackle.
I mean,
Jameson Williams and Jermaine Johnson. And we got Chris Olave hanging out in the back there, so.
I could see him maybe going to the Texans.
Again, this draft hasn't been getting the same hype as last year. Because last year we had five star level quarterbacks, or star potential quarterbacks, go off the boards in the first 15 picks. But this is going to be the draft you look back on, you're like, wow, the foundational pieces, the underrated foundational pieces of a lot of teams could have been built in the top 10 here. With offensive and defensive linemen, secondary, you know.
I mean, I think this has got to be the first draft that I've seen where it's mostly defensive players in the top 10.
This is absolute euphoria for all the old timers who are going to sit on a couch on a Sunday and complain about how all they do is like lob the ball out, you know.
Yeah.
It's an old school draft.
I mean, I like it. I like seeing all these big defensive guys get drafted, seeing their value come out.
I mean, you guys know me. I love the draft. I study it intensely.
Yeah.
Every year. The whole process just fascinates me. Last year was fun because it's like the quarterback's the big ticket item, and you had so many of those going around last year that it was super exciting to latch onto that. But I mean, this one's almost more interesting just because there is so little that is known about what's going to happen. You know, almost every team last year was linked to a quarterback. There's so much speculation about that, but this year, you know, the teams kept the cards close to the vest. Not as much drama, but still, like, you don't know. There's less of an idea where teams are going to go. And there's, again, so many foundation players. I'd call Wilson and Johnson that for sure. And the pick is in, and it is Garrett Wilson. Given Zach Wilson, it's going to be something ESPN will get ready for those stats. Shout out quick to Just the Numbers with Paul Hires, our favorite radio show on this podcast. If you like the numbers of sports, check it out. See what our producer does in his spare time when he's not out here watching us ramble on.
Yeah.
So yeah, get ready for this is the longest pass from a Wilson to a Wilson stat to be on ESPN's Instagram.
Yeah.
All that dumb stuff. Anyway, you know, Garrett Wilson, as technically sound as they come for a wide receiver, played for a big-time program at Ohio State. You can't knock this pick at all.
No.
I think he should have gone off the board at 8. I had him just a bit over Drake London. Big-time offense, pro-style receiver, great routes, runs fast. I mean, you can't knock this one for the Jets. They got their big defensive pick. As much as they probably liked Johnson, why not invest on the offense too? The best thing you can do to help Zach Wilson is to give him someone to throw to.
So I guess the big question now is, what is Washington going to do? Because
Now, this is a quarterback team. This is probably the first place where I think we could have realistically see a quarterback maybe go.
I think Willis might go here.
For my money, Kyle Hamilton, 6'4" safety. He really mostly got knocked. One, again, not a position of value, but he had a 4.5. He had a slow 40 time, slower than they wanted, but he is a guy who provides versatility and leadership at safety and at linebacker. He'd be a perfect fit for the Commanders. No, not on the stream. Not on the stream. Anyway.
It also looks like they need a center. I mean, could we see a...
Linderbaum's not... Again, it's like Hamilton, but to the more of an extreme level. Interior offensive line. As much as we continue to see that's what is going to win you games, like we saw how the Bengals got picked apart, you're not going to get an interior offensive lineman drafted, anywhere in the top 20 anymore usually.
Except for the, what was his name from Notre Dame? Can't think of him now. Who plays for the Giants?
I know. No, the Colts guy.
Oh, Colts?
Gosh, we're getting exposed here, but why'd you bring that up? Quentin Nelson.
Quentin Nelson, thank you.
But come on, Quentin Nelson was
He was a beast. He was a different animal.
He's a guard who you were just like generational prospect.
Yeah.
He would have been first overall if he was a left tackle.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I don't think we have to worry about... And the
Ooh.
Saints are on the clock. We have a trade. Twitter time.
Love Twitter time. Wow, that's interesting. Okay.
QB.
So
I think it's a
could
QB.
it be a QB?
It could be a QB. I mean, you conventionally usually don't trade up heavily unless it's for a QB. The Saints...
What did they trade for?
The Saints were going at 16.
16, and they have 19.
The only other weirdness you could see here is that it is rumored that Trevor Penning is like someone they've been fixated on, and it's also been rumored
that was a big Cowboys one too.
And it's also been rumored that the Chargers have been looking for ways to jump one spot over the Saints to get Penning. Do I necessarily think they'd maybe trade up this far for Penning? I think it could be a quarterback.
Maybe.
Maybe
I think
Jermaine Johnson.
It's probably a quarterback. I don't think they're going to go for Jermaine Johnson. I'm not going to say that they're set at edge rushers, but they do have
Jordan Cameron. Cameron Jordan.
Cameron Jordan.
Jordan Cameron was the tight end, and they made all those commercials with those two guys together.
Yeah.
Let's find the specifics for this one. The Saints are trading the 16th pick, a 3rd rounder, and a 4th rounder to Washington for the 11th pick. I'm surprised they got that 4th rounder because it's an easy pick to brush off. But at this point, you're expecting a 4th round guy to be like,
Oh, there it is.
yeah. I think at this
They
point
get
you're
the 13th.
expecting
That's not
a
right.
what?
They don't get 13th.
I can't ever get over their commitment to constantly trying to win and thinking they could.
I think they had that one wrong on ESPN.
Such a separate, like,
Either that or we're looking at some sort of bizarre trade that somehow involves the Texans, but I'm not. In Saints news, C.J. Gardner-Johnson is standing courtside at the Pelicans game, freaking out and looking at his phone. So we'll see what's going on there. This is going to be a wild one, I think. So I'm going to assume that there's no 13th pick involved here, despite what they said on ESPN's stream there. So getting a 3rd and a 4th rounder is big, because at this point, a 3rd and a 4th round guy are guys who expect to either be, decent starters, solid starters, or at least high end, replacement players.
Yeah.
Don't sleep on the value of a 3rd pick or a 4th pick. I mean, I think the Rams just kind of showed us that with the Super Bowl. So, wow.
I mean, I don't think it's wrong. I mean, I think they go for a quarterback. I mean,
Willis or Pickett, are you going to get freaky and take Sam Howell?
I don't think they're going to go for a freaky pick, They're the Saints. They don't go for freaky picks.
Bailey Zapp, West Kentucky.
Okay, one occasion. But still, I mean, I think they go for Willis. I think they take the safe pick. And I feel like he fits their offense.
And hey, let's talk about this from Washington's perspective. They have the walking question mark that is Carson Wentz as their quarterback now.
Yeah.
You never know quite what to do with that, but they are, again, probably a
Carson
team.
Wentz is Carson Wentz, man.
They're making some playoff noise midway through the season. They're closer to the playoffs than a lot of these other teams they're picking near. The logic here, again, is probably try to get a decent starter in the 3rd and the 4th round, use that 16th pick, try to get a high-impact guy, but either they clearly didn't have any guy they wanted to take here, or they're just, they're trying to make a move that a playoff team would move and try to get more talent as opposed to a bigger talent. So they either have some opinions we don't know, or they're shooting for quantity.
Well, I guess one thing is Devin Lloyd's still on the board, and they do need a linebacker.
Devin Lloyd has been a linebacker from Utah. Has been interesting that he is pretty beloved by the NFL draft community, but all the intel from the teams hasn't been as positive as has been for the internet analysts, from the armchair GMs, both professional and amateur like us. Pick is in, which means sometime in the next 30 minutes they'll probably announce it.
Yeah. And I'm just
Guessing here.
sitting here waiting for my team. I don't really care.
Trying to see the next cornerback who's going to get absolutely destroyed on a game-losing drive.
I mean, if they don't select Jermaine Johnson, he's going to my team. I don't see a reason for us not to draft him.
You're in the front office right now, like, hey, Trent McDuffie, you up?
If we Trent McDuffie, I'm going to Trent McDuffie the front office.
So he's already a verb. He hasn't started his career, he's already a verb. How can you go wrong with this guy?
I'm going to McDuffie him.
Paul's over here thinking put that on a T-shirt. He's going to mint you into an NFT now or some other stuff.
No. I mean, also, if they don't select Kyle Hamilton, I won't be mad if they select Hamilton because he's top-tier talent that's
Yeah,
drops.
put him next to Harrison Smith. No one's getting past that
I was
back
gonna
duo.
say, like, no long runs,
The
no
pick is
deep
in.
passes. I can't be disappointed.
Oh, what the heck, man. Chris Olave.
What?
What?
No. That's not at all what I thought was going to happen.
No way, dude. It's getting fun, dude. Let's go. Drake London and now Chris Olave off the board.
Where did I have him at? I don't even know where he was at.
On my mock draft, Chris Olave, 17th to the Chargers.
I had him 16th to the Saints.
I had him at 21st in my big board. So
I didn't think he was
There's-
worth that much. I didn't think he was worth a trade up.
I didn't think he. Yeah, I was gonna say. Not only do I not know if I'd take him at 11th. I mean, this has got to be a C.
Wow, that
minus
is-
for me. Not only would I not take him at 11th,
They must
but
really like him.
I would not have traded up for him. I would have taken. You probably could have waited for Jameson Williams at 16th. That's wild.
That's yeah. I don't even know what to say.
A lot of Vikings guys in the front office right now jumping around. I mean, wow. This is why This is why the draft is so fun, though. It's just
Yeah,
wild,
I mean,
crazy stuff like this. So now you get to look at it. Kyle Hamilton, Jermaine Johnson, Jameson Williams on the. I mean, would you take Jameson Williams?
no. I would not personally. If the front office takes Jermaine Williams,
You could combine Jameson Williams and Justin
Jameson
Jefferson
Williams, my bad.
to have the most talented wide receiver group with the most mediocre quarterback, since I'm assuming you'll take Kirk Cousins Jr. in 3 years or something.
Good Lord, it'll make me cry.
Wow. Chris Olave, the talking heads at ESPN's live stream are freaking out, hands in the air. I don't.
Faces of confusion.
The Saints fans on the NFL live stream that they're showing are either freaking out or looking real confused. You got the lady in front jumping up and down for joy. You got the guy behind her looking like
Wants to
trying
lead
to.
immediately.
You got the guy behind remembering that the NFL draft definitely said like you have to smile. He's smiling through the pain right now.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh.
Wow.
Detroit is on the clock according to ESPN.
Whoa. What the
We just
heck?
I didn't think we'd ever make a trade like that, bro.
I don't know what you're trading for, but
Wow.
you must have given us a lot of stuff.
Kyle Hamilton. We were thinking about him at 2 apparently. Wow. So y'all probably have the 32 pick.
Well, that's kind of sucks because we needed.
Yeah, if we get Hamilton, I have to buy 2 jerseys. What? It could be Williams too at this point. Pick is in. They made that fast. Wow, that was
That's interesting. I didn't think my team
the
would trade
last
out.
2 picks have just completely blindsided me.
Yeah.
Wow. Clock resets though. Although again, ESPN is saying the pick is in. Pick is in right away. I don't know what's more surprising: Chris Olave going 11th or Detroit trading.
Well,
Isn't it also generally considered kind of bad business to trade within Division II? That's what I've usually heard that's the prejudice. So
Well, let's see what did we get out of the trade. Better have been just something good because that kind of makes me mad. Because Jermaine Johnson's still there, and I know that was a target for us.
I don't see us taking. I guess I don't see us taking him, obviously, but
No.
it's.
You already have an edge rusher. You don't need another.
But it wouldn't be. It wouldn't completely surprise me the way the line. I mean, we've been very defensive line focused. We got Alan McNeil in the third round,
Yeah.
and Levi Onwuzurike in the second round. It wouldn't be the most completely shocking thing I've ever seen. I am desperately trying to figure out the details for this trade.
I'm sure it'll show us on the ESPN live stream eventually, but
I want to know now, Lucas. And all ESPN wants to tell me is that Skittles apologized for making a green apple Skittle.
it's the best kind.
Everything needs 20 commercials a minute now. Dear God.
Yeah, I bet you guys take Hamilton.
I think it's got to be Hamilton.
Especially
If
with,
we were considering
with his
him,
size.
if we were considering him second, I'd be
6'4" at the safety position. That's crazy.
Detroit sent, wow, 32, 34, 66 for 12, 46 and a later pick. Him second.
What?
What?
that good or bad for either of us?
I don't like it. I mean, to be fair, it's a 12-pick difference in the second round, so we're just kind of swapping there. But 66, I don't know about that. That's when we're supposed to take Chad Muma and make my dreams come true. Or Troy Anderson. Shout out to my Mountain
We
West
traded you what?
linebackers. 12 and 46, so your first and your second. For our first, our second, and a third.
We don't need more picks. We need to get rid of our picks. Why are we doing that?
Top comments on Bleacher Report. If we draft Malik Willis, I'm becoming a Rams fan. I'll say right now, Paul, give me pointed at the camera, dictator style. I get it.
Hold on.
I get that Matthew Stafford was our boy, was our shining hope. But you do not leave Detroit for any reason. We're in this together, and we all suffer together. You're a coward if you leave Detroit. And the terms are in 12th overall pick, a 2022 second rounder for 32nd, 34th, and a 2022 third rounder. I don't much care for that. I don't know. Okay, so it's 12th and 46th for 34 and 32nd. As Paul keeps producing and pointing at the camera, clearly ignoring my desire to see who my team's going to draft.
Oh, the Lions draft Jameson Williams.
Lucas, can I ask my brother over here to provide a couple minutes of commentary as I drink an energy drink and contemplate life?
Okay. Can't believe you did that. Yeah, that is not what we expected. I definitely expected another defensive player. What would you grade this?
I'm
What's your
actually
grade right now?
thinking about it, and let's ask ourselves something. Who is the guy that we both said would be the number one receiver if he wasn't hurt?
Jameson Williams.
What is our timeline
For his recovery?
for our team? What's our timeline? A rebuild.
Not this year.
A rebuild.
That's for sure.
So next year, healthy Jameson Williams.
I feel like that'd be good.
Look, I like Hamilton more. This is a B or a B minus. I'm not sure yet, but
We'll
and
have
I
to
wish
see
we
how he
did-
performs.
I don't
mean,
know how I feel about the amount of picks we gave up,
Yeah.
but
It's
I mean,
just
to be
it's
fair,
interesting to me.
to be fair, you guys did drop 20,
Yeah.
and we dropped 16 in the second, or not 16. We dropped about 12 picks in the second round, and you guys dropped 20 in the first. There's a third rounder on the way for you guys, but it's not what I would have done. But I trust the process.
Yeah.
Trust the process, I guess. I really think that I like what we've got going on in the front office right now. Brad is the best GM we could have got, and I'm going to trust him on this one.
I mean, I don't like that we dropped. I wish we would have gotten Jermaine Johnson.
I wouldn't like you guys dropped so much. I could understand wanting to trade 4 spots, 5 spots, but 20, I mean, you're looking at, unless you're thinking that a Desmond Ridder or a Matt Corral is the guy at 32, because the interesting thing with quarterback, you see a lot of quarterbacks like Lamar Jackson, Teddy Bridgewater get taken 32nd overall. That just means you get a 5th-year option on a quarterback. You take a young quarterback you maybe think is a second-round guy, you get a 5th year of control on him. That's more cheap quarterback play, more evaluation time. So that is...
If we draft a quarterback, I'm quitting. I'm walking out of the studio.
Well, fortunately, if you draft a quarterback, it'll be 32nd overall. So, the show will be over and you can go quit in peace, I guess. Wow.
Why would we draft a quarterback? We just re-signed one. No.
I'm going to be thinking about this pick for a bit. I'm really happy we have Aiden
Well,
Hutchinson, so I can just hold on to that one thing where it's like easy no-brainer.
20 picks. I just don't get it. I don't know why we dropped so far.
Maybe waiting to see if we get Lewis Kine with the end of the draft or the second pick of the next round. Let's get it, Jameson Williams. Let's see it. wait till you guys have to deal with insert highly rated 2022 college quarterback here, throwing to Amon-Ra, T.J. Hawkinson, and Jameson Williams.
I don't know. We'll see. I mean,
So let's take our team allegiances out of here. Do you trade up for? Would you have traded up for Jameson Williams, knowing he's a year away?
for my team, or
Just in general.
no,
No.
I would not have. I would have traded up for a highly rated defensive player.
I'm kind of disappointed.
Say Kyle Hamilton.
I am kind of disappointed it's not Hamilton.
Because I feel like Hamilton would have been a better choice for you
And
guys
safety's
as
a big
far as
weak
needs.
spot, but as the Eagles pick has been in for about 4 minutes now, you know, it's really nice of them to be so slow that we. Okay, and we just completely ignored the fact that the Eagles had to trade up to get that pick. So, 3 trades in a row. Let's get on Twitter, get those details for this one. As the 76ers just absolutely smoked Toronto, 132-97. Kevin, if you're watching this, take a cold shower and calm down about the Sixers.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. What do you think they trade up for? Could it be a
I think it's Johnson.
Johnson?
Jermaine Johnson. It's got to be Johnson or Hamilton.
I don't know. The Eagles don't necessarily need a defensive line, or an edge rusher, I should say. I guess they do need a linebacker, and
I mean,
he is-
defensive end is such a premium position that, you know, I think it's one you always look to improve on. So the Eagles move up 2 spots. The Texans get the 15th overall pick, a fourth round this year, and then 2 5th-rounders. So it's like we said earlier,
that's a lot of capital for 2 spots.
Yeah. Again, don't underestimate 4th-round picks. And 2 5ths and a 4th, you're bringing in new guys.
Yeah.
And the Texans just so badly need
They just need
culture
structure.
culture and structure are thrown around too much in sports, but after the way everything went with the Watson era ending and just kind of having like a weird patchwork roster of old veterans, it's time to rebuild there, bring in new guys, start just a whole new system there, and honestly hope that they're really riding a lot on Lovie Smith, a coach with a shaky track record at the pro level, and on Davis Mills, second round, 3rd round quarterback. So, trying to find those Eagles details.
Jameson Williams.
First tweet that pops up is our Detroit's front office reacting to Aiden Hutchinson going to, and they're
They're
just
so happy, yeah.
Dan Campbell's like jumping around, freaked out. As
I
he
mean,
does.
one of a kind, you know.
Let's get these Eagles. Let's get this Eagles details going.
I want to know if you can see the comment section.
I cannot. I'm assuming this is one of the boys.
A one Joe Montana.
Sully.
Watching from Italy. You got a international fan base.
No,
Oh,
honestly,
my
I could see Devin Lloyd. I mean, that might be a little high for him, but
In all caps, tweet says Eagles traded up to get Jameson Williams, and he's not even there.
really.
That's the interpretation there. However,
But the pick is already in. I don't. They drafted that way too quick.
so yeah, they traded 15, 124, 162, 166. This is via Eagles Twitter, and they got Jordan Davis according to Twitter. So I don't know.
Oh no.
This is interesting because I think one of the most fascinating things I read, it was an athletic article about like the 10 commandments of drafting a team, and one of them was in the first round, only draft a guy who's going to be on the field in the 2-minute drill. Scores tied up, 2 minutes left, so guys like a running back or in Jordan Davis's case, no matter how much of a freak athlete he is, he's an interior defensive lineman who doesn't provide much in the pass rush.
Yeah.
So he is possibly the kind of guy you take out in a 2-minute drill situation. So this draft is developing some interesting flavor now that we've hit the teens.
Yeah, I mean, could we see Trent McDuffie?
I would not be shocked if we saw McDuffie. I think Johnson and McDuffie are in play.
Because I have McDuffie going at 14 to the Ravens. And I don't know if they thought they would be able to get past him. Maybe that's why they took that jump.
It's hard to see. It's hard. Producer stuff. Don't worry about it. It's hard to see a team, passing on McDuffie at this point, given their needs. But again, you have to wonder about Hamilton. Does a team trade up for him? He's falling farther than we thought he would.
Yeah.
ESPN has been sitting here for 5 minutes now with the pick is in for the Eagles, which is got some Eagles fans.
Jordan Davis.
We're going to see how much they freak out and destroy stuff when they make their pick.
Jordan Davis.
Jordan Davis is in there. The Eagles fans are motionless. The camera cut away, so I'm going to assume they start throwing batteries at each other. So.
Not like regular batteries, like car batteries. Oh, they're freaking out.
They're liking a face-painted man is about to cry.
Face-painted man wearing a Wentz 11 jersey.
No, that's too old to be a Wentz jersey. That's an old font. That's early 2000s. As we prepare to help out the fan base, we'll pull up.
That is a big man.
That is a fast big man. It's like looking at
340.
It's like looking at you trying to move on the rugby field. You're like, wow, that guy's fast, but oh, he's really tired now. Got to put him out for a bit.
Just ran down a running back.
And Baltimore immediately making that pick.
Yep.
So
it's got to be a McDuffie. Unless
Johnson.
It could be Johnson.
I'm gonna say Johnson. You're taking McDuffie. So I had them taking Jordan Davis in my mock. It's been rumored he's kind of been their guy for a bit. So obviously they either really didn't expect a team to pull trigger and trade up for an interior defensive lineman, or they just didn't want to spend that capital on it.
Baltimore's not exactly, in need of a edge rusher at the time.
Will you read their comments?
I'm
if they ask
getting
questions?
there, Paul. As always with this crowd, and these questions are just asking for me to get completely removed from ever being able to be on any public sphere whatsoever. But we'll see what's worth. If there's anything worth seeing. Shout out to the comments section. As once again the YouTube algorithm has made a thorough attempt to purge what they have to say. We will not stand for the suppression. Will there be a QB drafted here? No. Keep it up, guys. Shout out to the boy Avi. Good to have you watching, man. Muzigira Pacific, adding nothing. Shout out to you though, bro. Joe Montana has had every single message deleted. Thread against Paul. Paul, what's been the best pick so far? Tied between Hutchinson and Stingley. Joe Montana has been unbanned.
No,
You love to have friends who are passionate about saying what you do for work.
is Hamilton still on the board?
Hamilton is still on the board.
He's a pure safety, right?
So, boys, we are here taking tasteful questions about the draft here. You will not be seeing Paul's feet this year. That was last year only. Getting the iconic head shake there. of the Dirk Nowitzki of the draft, Bernhard Raymond from Central Michigan, because he is Austria's next to Germany, and there is an Austrian exchange student who is currently a projected first-round draft pick, and that's really showing kind of how football's, making a big global jump.
Yeah.
Played tight end, switched to left tackle, first-round conversation. Hadn't touched a football until he got here from Austria.
And now he's
So
potential first.
yeah, so
round.
he went from a high school exchange student here for a year to a college football player.
Which is insane.
Pretty remarkable. Which NFL draft pick will most likely be a bust so far? Clean it up.
Jameson Williams.
Olave.
Yeah.
I mean, what makes Williams a bust?
The fact that he's probably injury prone.
He had one major injury. Got in the championship game, tried to play through it.
Yeah. I'm not saying that he's the biggest bust. I'm just saying, if I were to trade up, I wouldn't have picked him. I don't know.
We're still waiting for that pick to come in from the Baltimore Ravens, who so far look like they've chosen to stand pat and, make their pick, which the last couple teams have not opted to do. We'll
I'm
get
just
on.
surprised that it hasn't been picked up yet.
You wonder how far Hamilton will drop again. I think we expected a bit of a fall because, again, safety, not a premium position, but I mean, it's just like, it's a question of if his 40 time was
Yeah.
so alarming to teams that he wasn't worth taking there.
I'm so surprised with the trades that have happened so far, especially since they're not the people that we
Didn't
thought.
expect to be
Yeah.
that active, in things.
Especially the Lions. I didn't think the Lions would trade at all.
I did not think I thought if we were trading, that 32nd pick would be back.
I mean,
which-
I don't like that trade because we dropped 20 picks.
You
Now
got,
we're just out of
but
range.
you got a premium second round pick. You have a first, you got a premium second round pick, you got a pretty good third round pick. You're picking in the top 10 of the third round too. So it's interesting. I kind of hate that we traded with you, honestly. I don't like it.
Why?
Because now we're going to spend the next 5 years of these guys' rookie deals where we're just like, every year it's going to be like, oh, let's see how Jameson Williams and Detroit's third round pick we got from you guys
Yeah.
stacks up against.
So we got Kyle Hamilton
There we go.
to the Ravens.
I feel like the Ravens just do this. They come in and they usually take the most sensible guy available.
Yeah, I mean, I don't
So-
feel like they're desperate for a safety, but I mean, Kyle Hamilton's up potential is so much higher.
So how you feel about this really comes down to Johnson versus Hamilton. And now we'll expose ourselves a bit. We'll pull up the mocks again. We'll see how they stacked up for us so far. So I had Kyle Hamilton 11. He went 14th.
I had him at 12, and my team passed him. So
I actually had Jameson Williams going at 13th. So us the Lions getting him at 12 kind of is in the proper range. Therefore, we thought he was going to go. Biggest jump so far, Olave going from 17th to 11th. Obviously, Kyle Hamilton fell 3 spots. And I guess my biggest rise is probably Drake London jumping from 15 to 8. So now when to look at the rest of the board that we have here. We have Trevor Penning, obviously, Jermaine Johnson.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Jermaine Johnson gets picked here.
And it's the Texans, and like we said, every position is a position of need. It's almost tempting just to completely look past what the Texans are doing here because we have Washington at 16th, and we mentioned Washington as a potential quarterback destination. I mean, that's what we're really looking at here. We're looking for that quarterback to come in off the board at 16th.
I mean, is it possible that we get, first round that doesn't have a quarterback in the top 20?
I think the thing there is that it's kind of the consensus seems to be that at bare minimum the Steelers will take a quarterback at 20. That's been the buzz the whole time. They like Pickett. I don't know if they'll go up for it. The interesting thing being it's their general manager's last draft. He drafted Roethlisberger. He's obviously been there for a long time. The theory has been that he wants to draft a quarterback and leave the team in good hands there. So I think the Steelers are the most likely team to take a quarterback in the first round, but I think Washington coming off next, really could be interesting. And then there is a non-zero chance we could see the Texans coming in here and taking one. I don't think it happens, but it wouldn't completely.
I mean, their pick came in fast, and usually if you're going to take a quarterback, you need some time to think about it.
Let's make a bet here. Who are they taking? Who's coming off the board here?
I'm going to go with Johnson again, but I've been wrong 3 times about him already, so.
I'm surprised he's falling so much because
Yeah.
I really thought of him as a major riser. Yeah, I really thought he was a major riser.
I mean, especially since there was so much hype up for him at the beginning of the draft, him expecting to go in the top 10, which is...
Again, the hot rumor about him was the Jets would take him were considering him at 4 and had him above Thibodeau and Walker. Now I understood the Jets not wanting to take him there, especially with Wilson there, but I think he's been the most baffling faller for me so far. McDuffie is kind of the one top guy you can rule out since they got Stingley.
Yeah.
ESPN says Trevor Penning is going to be their best option here.
I mean, now that Kyle Hamilton's gone, I feel like they would have taken Hamilton over top of Jermaine Johnson if he was still on the board, but now that he's gone, I think.
I just know my buddy Terry Blake is out there right now, big Ravens guy, celebrating this Hamilton move because you had a top 5 potential prospect just fall in your lap there, and that doesn't happen every day. I didn't see any of these trades happening, especially not the Vikings trading back 20 picks, and the Eagles trading up 2. But the fact that the Eagles did trade up 2 meant that they felt that Jordan Davis was going to be taken by the Baltimore Ravens, which is a definite bet. I think the move I have the hardest time with so far is probably that one, just because it's. I mean, how often
and they gave up so much capital.
I was going to say, how often do you see, it's an interior defensive player and you're trading up for him. So they must have really been in love with him as a prospect and really sure Baltimore's going to take him to do that, because that is far from the typical move you're going to see in the draft at all. If we're talking about expected positional moves. If I had one complaint about the draft, which again I love, is just I wish when the pick is in, it was actually ready to be announced instead of this little 5-minute dead zone.
Why does it say the Texans pick is in?
Checking that out. We had a little technical malfunction here, so we're getting up to speed here. So the Texans pick is in. It's Kenyan Green, interior lineman from Texas A&M.
You can't be mad with that. I mean,
it's higher than I would have taken him, but again, for a team that has needs everywhere, it's hard to criticize it.
I didn't have Kenyan Green going until 27. But I mean, if you're in need of someone, you know,
Here's the
like the Texans are.
hot fan question coming in first, Lucas. Are you familiar with Mel Kiper?
Yeah.
How many Mel Kipers? Could you take 2 Mel Kipers in a fight? With our rugby background, with your...
I can take like 10 Mel Kipers in a fight. That dude's weak.
I'll be modest. I'll take 7.
7?
I'm a humble man, you know, and
Yeah.
there's only so many Mel Kipers available to ESPN.
They'll
But
just try and talk
you know,
me to
maybe
death.
that's
Kick him in the nuts.
maybe that's our move. Maybe that's how we break it into the big stream. You know, ESPN's got this policy: you take out Kiper,
Yeah.
6 rounds, you get his job. We'll go for it. Thanks for the fine question, boys. So Kenyan Green.
I mean, it's higher than I would have drafted him. I feel like he could have traded back.
I had him
almost-
coming off
almost
the
8 or
board.
9. Do you even have him in the first round?
I did not have him in the first round. I almost did, but then I took Tyler Smith from Tulsa over him and Bernhard Raymond. So it's an interesting one, especially with Johnson there, and especially with Trevor Penning there. If they really want to go O-line, they're obviously pretty set with Laramie Tunsil. He's one of the more underrated NFL players. I don't know if you saw, but he released an NFL. One of the biggest draft stories of the past decade was the gas mask bong video that got him dropped 12 spots in the draft.
Yep.
Projected number 1 overall pick. So, I mean, it was pretty surprising for me to see, you know, him kind of embrace that. He released an NFT of the gas mask video. He's given all the proceeds to help people who have been locked up for marijuana charges. Cool to see him kind of embracing that. But I guess with Green, they're going to plug him in at left guard next to Tunsil and try to protect Davis Mills or whoever comes along the quarterback's blind side. I don't think I would have taken him there, but it's the logic.
Well, I feel
holds
like
up.
he's not even the best guard in my opinion.
Who do you have as the best guard overall?
Let me look real
For
quick.
me, it's Zion Johnson from Boston College.
Yeah, I had him going 1 pick before him, but I still would have said that he's the better guard, mostly because he's more flexible.
Oh, and more fireworks here as the Commanders have taken Jahan Doxson
Really?
at 16th.
That's interesting.
I'm from Penn
I
State,
did not
yeah.
have him going until 23 to the Cardinals.
I did not have him going in the first round. I definitely thought about him in there, but I've been buying into the hype for Christian Watts from North Dakota State. So it came down to Watson and Treylon Burks for me versus Doxson. I had both those guys go off the board.
Jermaine Johnson
But
is
this
still
is
on the board.
somewhat expected because they've been saying all along there's so many good receivers, we could see a major run on them. And so this is our 5th receiver to come off the boards. And Doxson's kind of surprising to me to see go that high. But now the question is, armed with your new draft capital, did the Vikings trade up?
We
Jermaine
could have just
Johnson,
taken him at 12. I don't know why we traded back in the first place.
trade back up, keep it. You get an extra draft pick still. You could try to flip your first round pick and that 3rd round pick we sent you. Keep an extra 2nd.
I mean, yeah, especially since he's still on the board. And you know, the upcoming teams, none of them required an edge rusher. I mean, none of them.
Well, he's
I mean, the next one would be the Patriots, and they're not until 21.
again, the problem though is he's a talented enough player. You figure at some point a team that doesn't have it as a pressing need will still come forward
Yeah.
and take Johnson. I mean, looking at what's next,
I mean, I could say, Eagles just traded.
Eagles just traded to the Tennessee Titans. What did I say earlier? I was talking to you on the way here, and I said Tennessee Titans could be a surprise quarterback team.
And
Tannehill's
they
under.
came in right before the 2 teams that are going to draft a quarterback, which is interesting.
And the Chargers just made their pick right away. We have flown
Wow.
past ESPN's coverage at this point.
Zion Johnson. Wow, that's both guards gone.
Both guards gone. I thought Trevor Penning was going to go to the Chargers,
I-
but
I
offensive line, they have a potential superstar quarterback in Justin Herbert. I think Zion Johnson was the best offensive guard in the draft. I think he's the third best O lineman currently available. It's hard for me to fault this pick. You're protecting your
the mock
quarterback.
draft is just terrible.
All
Good
mock
Lord.
drafts get shot down. So Johnson, I mean, 3 straight big surprising picks for me. Looking at the best of who's available now. You have Johnson, who's kind of free falling here. You have Trent McDuffie, who's also expected to go off the board, and Trevor Penning as well. Daxton Hill and Devin Lloyd are the other top prospects available, and then you have the quarterbacks.
Oh, they're trading A.J. Brown.
No kidding.
They're trading A.J. Brown for the
A.J. Brown?
for the 18th pick.
Wow. What on earth is that logic, dude?
Let me look at it real quick.
Yeah, let me get the details of that one, because that is absolutely mind-blowing. So Titans on the clock. You have to figure they really want a quarterback if they're willing to trade A.J. Brown.
That's insane.
Now, we've been saying that. I know we're starting to look dumb just because we've been saying you have to, if you want a quarterback, that's the package you give. But wow, it's like I said, it might be a bit boring up top, but it's going to be an absolute wild ride once you get farther along into this one. And it's not disappointing. You really never see a player, like an established top NFL talented player like A.J. Brown, get traded like that. And if you're the Eagles, you have to like it. The receivers are off the board. You still get a good one. Let me know when you get those details
Oh,
up.
wow, okay. More than one, actually.
What we got here?
Cardinals acquire Marquis Brown from the Ravens for third round pick for the 23rd.
Wow.
So 2 wide receivers gone.
2 big wide receivers. I guess Marquis Brown's more of a potential guy still, but I mean, you have to think these are 2, like, you have to assume the Cardinals, who really want to keep Kyler happy, and the Eagles, who really need a great wide receiver system to maximize Jalen Hurts' talents, saw Doxson go off the board, saw this run happening, and we're like, okay, we need to reload and get a wide receiver because it's not happening in this round. So you wonder if those are just almost knee-jerk moves now.
So are they really? I don't know if they're going to go for a quarterback, though. I think
It's gonna be-
they might go for a wide receiver here.
Treylon Burks would be the top option here,
Yeah.
but I don't know if you just trade A.J. Brown or replacement Treylon Burks. Again, and look at who they traded over. Saints and Steelers. I think this has got to be the quarterback move we want to see finally.
I mean,
Pick is in
who
for
fits
Titans.
who fits the Tennessee Titans the best?
Malik Willis fits the timeline. You have Ryan Tannehill for 1 or 2 more years. He's 33, and while he's been a really good quarterback, he hasn't necessarily shown that he's going to take you over the edge. I think Willis is such a talent. Like, even in other drafts, as much as everyone likes to hate on this quarterback class, he's about as talented as a lot of the first rounders we've seen the last couple of years that have been more highly rated.
I could see.
You take him, you put him behind Tannehill for a year or 2. Willis has shown to be a great leader and someone who really, I think, would be willing to sit and learn from Tannehill, who I think is also a humble enough guy that he wouldn't mind coaching up a younger quarterback, even that he knows is going to replace him. I think this is a perfect situation to take Malik Willis in. Kenny Pickett could also go, but you almost have to wonder if that means they trade Tannehill now, because Kenny Pickett is
Yeah, I was
the
going to say
quarterback
I
for
could
the team that's
I could
ready
see
now.
Pickett. I could see Pickett.
I like how we just had this really clean cut, sensible, safe top 10. And then once we
And
hit
it all went to
11,
hell.
3 trades in a row,
A sensible pick.
flying up the board. I still think the Chargers,
then-
honestly, the more I think about it, should have got Trevor Penning. Or honestly, the Titans traded up before their pick was in. Or around so you almost wonder if the Chargers could have maybe tried to get a Steelers or a Saints to jump over the Titans there. The pick remains in after all this time.
Yeah, I know.
So here's where it gets interesting.
What,
If you
what,
look-
are, what are Titan needs? Wide receiver, guard, center, and edge. Could they go for a Johnson pick here?
I feel like the fans are about to try to just ban us from saying Jermaine Johnson's name. I mean, I think wide receiver's out of the question.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anyone who's worth showing your fan base that you swapped A.J. Brown for. As much as I love Treylon Burks. But it could be Johnson, but I think it's got to be a quarterback to trade up like that.
Well, as far as it's been going so far, I think it's going to be like a cornerback or a wide receiver.
Steelers got to be sweating bullets here. Because if Titans take quarterback and the Saints take a quarterback, which the Saints are projected to do at 19,
They trade back.
I think they either
Do they even trade out of the first round?
they
Because I
either
feel like
they
there's
either decide they're deeply in love with, assuming Ritter's the third guy who's left out. They either decide to commit to Ritter or they trade back.
I feel like they could trade out of the first round. Either
It's-
that, or they could
I would-
trade. They could trade to the Vikings, get the 32nd pick.
Get that fifth year option on
Yeah.
Ritter. That would be a really. I think that's what I'd do. It's going to depend on if the Titans take a quarterback. Here.
God, this is fun. I like this.
I've been trying to get you out here for a while, bud.
Yeah.
It's just that's what the draft is. It's just pure random chaos, and you just every time
Just-
a pick is in, you get to see 100 different situations where you see how the pick affects the league and affects the team, and it's interesting.
I feel like we get like ESPN's just weird, pick, and then like one that just lasts for like 10 minutes, and then
Anytime there's a trade, it expands. The team who trades gets 10 more minutes onto the clock. So it's not like you're just it's not like Titans trade for the 4-minute mark and have 4 minutes.
yeah.
But still, just the pick is into actual pick is announced ratio, which is awful.
Treylon
wow.
Burks. Yes. I told you we were going to be wrong.
First of all, I love this dude. I don't know. There's an article I have to send you because he fits right in with your
From
roots, Big
Arkansas.
Red. He lives in the country. He almost went to a Division II school to stay close to home because he said he was good enough that he thought they'd come find him. He hunts wild boars for a living, or not for a living, but for a hobby. He
Awesome.
fishes. He uses dogs and he uses a knife to hunt. Corns them with dogs. He uses a knife. He is a badass dude with some badass hobbies. He's been kind of compared to a slower but more muscular and bigger Deebo Samuel, who, by the way, has notably not been traded so far. But man,
Well, this is just crazy to me because
this is them saying
that's
that
a lot of wide receivers off the board, and
we're
the
again
teams that still need wide receivers are still have to draft. I mean,
as
the
our
Packers need
as our
one.
producer pulls his Chiefs hat over his eyes and just Man,
cries himself to sleep.
you're gonna be caught if you take George Pickens in the first round. You're gonna be caught lacking. Meanwhile, all the Packers fans are probably just ready to give up on this point.
I mean,
The
how
rumor-
many wide receivers is that now? That's like 5, right?
We got Burks, Doxson, 2, Williams and Olave,
3, 4, 5, 6.
6,
6 off the board
Six.
already.
and I could see there's
Good Lord.
There's 3 more guys: Christian Watson, North Dakota State; Sky Moore, West Michigan; George Pickens, Georgia. Not likely, but I could see it happening just because this is very much appears to be where things are going.
I had Pickens. I had Pickens going to Kansas City
I had Burks going.
at 30.
I had Burks going 22 to the Packers. This is in my range for him.
Yep, that's what I have.
Privately, I spent all my time hoping he would fall to 32 when the lines were there because he is. I absolutely love Treylon Burks. I won't knock this one, honestly. I mean, A.J. Brown is obviously a big name, but I feel like he's going to be one of those guys. I'll pull up his stats, and I don't know if it'll necessarily be as impressive as the names say. Ironically, 11 hours ago, A.J. Brown and the Titans are in a good place with contract situation. A new place. And then just yesterday, Jalen Hurts has been working out with A.J. Brown, so that developed quickly. That's wild. So last year, 13 games, 63 receptions, 869 yards, 5 touchdowns. So looking at that, as good as A.J. Brown has been, he's had 2,000-yard seasons, and then last year he only had 800, but he only had 13 out of 17 games. Would you have moved on to A.J. Brown? Do you think it's as close? Do you think replacing him with like Burks is
No,
as easy?
no. If anything, I would have gotten rid of Julio Jones.
I'm surprised it's not a quarterback, honestly. Did the Titans bring in a different wide receiver earlier in the offseason? I can't remember if they swung like. They might have made a trade there. Oh, they got. I guess they have Robert Woods now, but nothing
Yeah,
too crazy.
I got that in. Yeah.
I mean, Robert Woods is a baller. He's not.
He's good. He's injury prone.
He's injury prone at this point. Saints pick is in, get away around a couple minutes, but again,
Do you think they go for somebody like Penning? Could we see a Penning pick?
I think that's the pick, honestly, just based on who. It's been rumored. I thought they would have taken him earlier. The Roger Goodell tweet says the Roger Goodell bro hug is a top 3 weirdest thing in sports. I agree. He looks like absolutely out of place in that situation every year.
When do you think the first running back's going to go?
Late second. Top one for me is Breece Hall from Iowa State. Late second. I think we're more and more getting to a point where if they're not a great pass catcher, you don't take a running back. I mean, think about the most valuable ones right now. Kamara, Christian McCaffrey in the 3 games he's healthy a year.
The only one that I would suggest taking would have been Derrick Henry, but that's because he is an absolute monster.
As far as like non-receiving.
As far as like non-receiving running backs.
Yeah, I think
I mean, how can you pass up on somebody who's 6'3", 245 and can run as fast as any other running back?
you've got to be a different breed of running back to get drafted in the first round if you're not a top quality pass catcher. And I mean, none of these guys are really that level. I mean, like last year we saw Travis Etienne from Clemson get drafted. Obviously didn't play, got hurt, but you know, he was worth the pick at theoretic. He's like Williams this year. He is an investment for the future after he gets healthy, based on his theoretical fit with that offense. But yeah, I don't see any running backs going in the first round. It would absolutely shock me if anyone did it. It'd be the Chiefs. They're absolute weirdos. They like to draft running backs. I'm not trying to just hate on your team, Paul. Like, it's just the Chiefs will try to take that kind of running back just because that's what Andy Reid likes to do. We'll hit the Twitter sphere, see if we can find any more relevant news as the Saints pick is in. You have quarterbacks available. You have Jermaine Johnson, who's been falling. You have Trevor Penning, who, on my mock draft, I had the Saints taking at 16th.
Which they traded out of.
If you trade out of and get Penning or Johnson at this point, and it's Trevor Penning, you know, no complaints there. Super physical low lineman coming out of a small school. Again, I would have given them an A for taking him at 16th. To trade out of that spot and still get him is phenomenal.
Yeah, I mean, this is an A+ for me. I mean, this is perfect.
We have officially reached peak quarterback drama for the night. Again,
Is this the one? Is the real question.
Again, I feel like I'm on repeat saying I think so this time, but
Well, I mean,
this
the big question
has
now.
been the safest bet to pick
Yeah.
a quarterback.
The real question now is: do they go for Penning, or do they go for, or not Penning? Sorry,
Pickett.
or do they go for Willis?
Pickett has been rumored to be their guy,
That's what I
but
was
Willis
thinking.
has also usually been projected to be off the board here. So I don't know who would you take for the Steelers?
For the Steelers, you know, I feel like they don't need a pocket passer. Like I feel like Willis is just a better option in general.
And I think Tomlin has said some stuff before about wanting that running quarterback. You are going to have to resign yourself to a Trey Lance with a Niners type situation where you don't get that rookie quarterback, and that's hard for fans to swallow a lot.
yeah.
You get a rookie, you want to see him right away. Same thing with like Jameson Williams to some Lions fans, I'm sure. having to wait
Yeah.
can be pretty frustrating from time to time. And they're Steelers are taking their time here.
I mean, they got a lot to think
They're
about.
debating here.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure there's-
ESPN is completely lying to everyone, saying that the best fit is Trent McDuffie, which is a lie.
Trent McDuffie dropping has surprised me. I mean, let's look at the best. I'm going to look at the picks to come and the best available just to get through a little time here, because all due respect to Trevor Penning, I think we've discussed him to a good enough point that it's hard to discuss this pick more. You have Jermaine Johnson, Trent McDuffie, Daxton Hill, Devin Lloyd, and Nakobe Dean as the top available picks, or top available players right now.
I mean, there's so many good picks right now that I felt like should have been gone already.
The wide receiver rush has definitely altered stuff up. The Patriots are sitting pretty right now.
Oh, they're just
You're
jumping for joy.
You're getting Johnson or McDuffie. Most
Yeah,
likely,
Johnson's
most
not gonna
likely
make it
a
past
choice
them.
of that. I could see assuming Johnson or McDuffie gets drafted, you get one of them, or you get the choice of both of them. I mean, Ravens, Packers, Patriots, Cowboys are all pretty much going to be given the opportunity of a solid defensive player who should have been drafted 5-10 picks earlier than they actually were. Quarterbacks do seem to be the theme for the board right now. The pick is in for Pittsburgh. And I'm assuming if I refresh that draft feed on Twitter, it's just going to be an absolute nightmare of quarterback discussion.
I'm gonna take a wild guess and say that they don't go for a quarterback.
Who's the pick then? I'm going to say Wills. I'm saying they're taking a quarterback. Who do you think they're taking?
I think they go for Raymond.
Bernhard Raymond. Big jump.
Yeah, but I mean,
That would be wild, man.
yeah, I mean,
Oh, and we have a first report, but I'll save it. I won't tell you. I'll let the suspense build. As we watch ESPN talking heads who didn't make the in-person draft cut discuss this ad nauseum.
I mean, maybe they do draft a quarterback, maybe they don't, but I feel like one of their big needs is an offensive tackle. I mean, Raymond fits that profile.
With tackle, there's two guys, top guys right now, Bernhard Raymond, the Austrian from Central Michigan, and then Tyler Smith from Tulsa, who is an absolute. And both of these guys are guys you're drafting for potential because they're both really raw right now.
Yeah.
Smith's a freak athlete, small school, a lot to work on. Raymond's been playing football for 6 years. Freak athlete, a lot to work on. So you got a project tackle available here. That just depends on your team's timeline. I could see the Patriots taking out of those guys. Karlaftis and Devin Lloyd are still available. McDuffie is still available.
Yeah, I mean,
A.J. Brown gets a $100 million deal after signing with Philly.
good
If you
Lord.
if you need any pointers as to,
How many years?
I can't find out yet. It just says $100 million.
4-year, $100 million extension with $57 million guaranteed. Holy crap. That's a lot of money for a wide receiver, in my opinion. Is that the most a wide receiver's been paid?
I'd be surprised if they're giving him the most of anyone who's paid. So if you're the Titans now, does it make more sense? Do you think it makes more sense to trade him
I mean,
if
he
you've
wants
clearly
that
if you've
much.
clearly decided he's not worth that much?
Yeah.
Which I would argue, I don't know if he's quite there for me.
If that's what he's demanding, then yeah. Especially since they think he was probably going to leave anyways.
I'm waiting for that Steelers pick to come in. And again, I'm pretty sure I know it, but we're gonna have to see what's up. Selection is in. We'll see if the Twitter tip I saw is right, and then I'll get a seer reaction here. It is vanilla. It is very vanilla.
It's Pickett. It's got to be Pickett.
You consider Pickett vanilla with the swaggy fake slide, crushing the beers? That's vanilla to you?
Yes.
I'm gonna guess from the rugby background that is not. Those are not exciting qualities, I guess.
No.
But
That's vanilla.
yeah, it's Pickett.
It's got to be Pickett.
I'd take Pickett at 20. I'll say it. That's good value for Pickett. He gets a little too much criticism, I think. I think people confuse him not being like an overwhelming freak athletic prospect with him. You know, I think people mistake that for him not being just a good quarterback. I think he's as good as Mac Jones.
Yeah.
The one thing people hate on him for is the hand size, and that's kind of a.
That's not a big deal. I mean, they said the same thing about Baker Mayfield.
There's stats to support it. They're worried he'll lose the ball. He wears a glove, which bothers people for a quarterback, I guess. But
Yeah.
what's your grade here? What's your grade on Kenny Pickett going 20?
I mean, it's definitely an A and an A minus maybe.
I mean,
but,
you can't watch
You
his.
can't be mad at this pick because they need a quarterback.
For all the concerns about his ceiling, you can't watch his college tape and not be really impressed. He can make better throws than people give him credit for. He can run a bit. He picks stuff up fast. You can
And he
start
can
him.
throw on the run.
You can start him right away.
Yeah.
I think that's the big thing here for a Steelers team that obviously feels that they were.
Do you think
They
if
should have been in there.
Pickett made it to 21, New England takes a chance?
No way. They're
No
going to
way.
roll with Mac Jones. He's given them no reason not to. I still think his ceiling is far lower than Wilson and Lawrence and Lance and Fields.
Yeah.
But you don't give up on him. New England can make a quarterback who's like, if for me, like Mac is at best and Pickett's kind of the same category to me. If they're Derek Carr or like peak Titans Ryan Tannehill, or even like a Kirk Cousins, you can't hate on that.
Yeah.
If you build a good enough team around him, they get him done. So I like it. Evil Empire's on the clock now. If you're done, if you're cool being done talking about QBs, the Evil Empire's on the clock, and then the NFC North Evil Empire is on the clock, and then the hated franchise that we shall refer to, them boys, I guess they call themselves, are also on the clock. So it's about to get angry. You're about to find the players you're going to cheer against for the next 3 years. Patriots are a kid in the candy store right now. Jermaine Johnson, Trent McDuffie, Devin Lloyd, Devontae Wyatt.
I don't think they go for a Daxon Hill.
Somehow ESPN is trying to now con me into thinking that Breece Hall is the 10th best player available and is a 30th overall prospect and an 88 grade. What, did you write that, Paul? Iowa State fan? Lord. Oh, Chiefs are on the clock and the pick is in, Paul. Moving up. And as you guys probably know about our producer's energy and excitement levels, his team trading up has not produced excitement but a resigned sigh.
Here we go.
Here we go.
We're going to get a running back. You guys trade up to pick a running back that was still going to be there at the pick that you wanted.
Duffy?
Maybe.
Devin Lloyd? I'll applaud them if they trade up, if they finally trade up for Johnson or McDuffie.
My favorite thing is the fact that both of you guys turned athletic into a multiple syllable. Like athletic, I don't know how you. I mean, that's when you're very when you're athletic. That's one thing. But when you're athletic, that's different. You wouldn't understand that clearly. It's something that you have to athletic, real or replica. Fiddle player. I mean, I'm with Harry. Hate it. I just wanted to be. Let me be clear. I don't give a damn what you think about the question. I just wanted to be with Harry. I don't.
I'm trying to find those Chiefs trade details right now. Twitter has really not been as. NFL just needs a Woj. Because during the NBA draft, you put Woj on, you get all the updates.
Is Jordan Davis still on the board?
No, he was off the board a while ago. 13th.
That's what I thought.
Yeah. They really need
Aaron
to
is
start.
offended you said that about Brees Hall.
All right then.
And Kevin
Apologies.
says Sixers to the second round, baby, in all caps.
As always, the boy Kevin ignoring the sport to talk about the 76ers.
What do you think about Devontae Wyatt?
I think he's a really underrated first-round prospect. He hasn't been getting probably enough love. I think him and Davis and Trayvon Walker's stats all took a hit just playing together on that all-time great defensive line.
That was crazy.
Yeah. I think he definitely took a bit of a knot. I think if he was at another school where he got to do more stuff, he would have been higher up. So you can take Wyatt right now, and I would not be. I would be.
Well, I know it's one of the Chiefs' big needs. This is a defensive lineman.
Just trying to find a good ESPN guy who will have the latest news and stuff. I guess when in doubt, Schefter could possibly do in a pinch, but I think we learned not to trust his takes with the Tom Brady situation. Yeah, 2 minutes ago he reported on the Eagles moving up to draft, so nothing there. Trying to figure out what this trade is for, which means we go to the deep, dark depths of Bleacher Report.
Trent McDuffie.
Trent McDuffie, defensive back. Our producers, get over here. Get on camera.
That's a good pick.
What do you got to say, Paul? Chiefs fan, football knowledge is high for you. Get on in here. Introduce yourself to the camera. This is our illustrious producer. Let's hear what you think about your team pick. You traded up. You guys don't trade up often.
That was a good pick.
It was a good pick.
Stunning in-depth analysis from our production department. I mean, I agree.
I agree. It was a good pick.
I'm surprised the Chiefs traded up. That's not usually kind of their wheelhouse, but they did have that extra pick available from the Miami Dolphins after the Tyreek Hill trade. I'm assuming they would have liked to see a receiver available with Tyreek being gone, but that is,
Do you think
unfortunately
Green
not an
Bay
option.
trades back out of the first round? At least up for their 22nd pick? And draft a receiver at 28?
I think they can, again, of the talented defensive players who are left, I think they can certainly find someone they want to take. ESPN says their best fit is Nakobe Dean. If they want a linebacker, I'd say you take Devin Lloyd at this point. But, I mean, the wide receivers and the guards, which are their top two needs, are gone. But edge rusher, tight end, linebacker, no tight ends really in play. But I don't think you're trading down if Jermaine Johnson and Devin Lloyd are available and the pick's already in for the Packers.
I could see a Jermaine Johnson. Although I've been able to see a
Hear me
Jermaine
out.
Johnson for the last
Hear me
12
out, hear me
years.
out. You draft Malik Willis. You let him sit on the bench for 3 years until he has no value. Jordan Love 2.0.
Has
Cue
he really
the-
been in for 3 years?
Cue the upset. I think this will be his third year. Cue the upset Packers fans getting ready in the comments.
So you traded away your 29th, your third round 94th pick, and your 124th round pick. So third and a fourth to move up 7 spots, which is pretty insane. Now we got the Packers.
take a quick break and be right back. And we're back. Thanks for joining us.
So yeah, took a little break there, and just missed an absolute fireworks level burner of a pick for the Packers. I mean, real quick, while we're talking about Green Bay, want to remember and send some love to all three of our good friends. We lost our buddy Ryan the past year. He was the biggest Packers fan you can meet, so sending love to him and his family. Big Packers family. Completely changed the way I felt about a team I've never liked. But we saw them take Quay Walker.
Actively hate.
Quay Walker has been rising up the boards, linebacker from Georgia. He would be a pick I would not mind at 22, except that Devin Lloyd and Nakobe Dean is undersized. I think he's super underrated, but you can make an argument against him. But I find it remarkable that a team would pass on Devin Lloyd to take Quay Walker, who's been slowly rising. We also saw some more trade drama this time involving the Buffalo Bills, trading for the Ravens pick. Do we say his name or not, or are we just done? We could have single-handedly destroyed this man's career just by jinxing it. To be honest,
I'm going to keep saying it so he falls to number 32. Jermaine Johnson is going to be picked.
manifesting it to the Vikings. That's what you got to do sometimes. I mean, I was manifesting Trayvon Walker to the Jaguars for last month, so it works. Just buckle down and you get Jermaine Johnson. I mean, we'll keep talking about it, I guess.
Traded up and picked him yet, because it's ridiculous.
We'll keep talking about it, I guess, though. Jermaine Johnson remains.
No one would have been mad if we took him at 12.
He remains the top talent on the board. The fact that no one's taken him confuses me. The fact that so many teams have traded up to take non-Jermaine Johnsons confuses me. At this point, you draft Jermaine Johnson, automatic A+. Getting absolutely fantastic value there. I mean, other than him, you got the two linebackers that could potentially be a Buffalo need. Daxton Hill needs some help in the secondary. ESPN says Andrew Booth is the top pick for them. Don't know if I love that one to them as much.
I don't think so. I think interior defensive lineman maybe.
The only interior offensive lineman I could see is one, if they really like Linderbaum, or two, if they decide they want to take Tyler Smith or Bernard Raymond and convert them to the interior. Maybe they want a new right tackle to go a little cheaper, and that could be an option in that case. Yeah. See what Schefter's got to say.
Defensive, not offensive.
Okay. Then Devontae Wyatt.
Yeah.
Although offensive would not be the worst move in the world for the Buffalo Bills.
No. I mean, more protection for Josh Allen is
And
never
this
a
is
bad plan.
And this is a big pick for them because they are a team that, if they crush this one, they got Von Miller, dynamic pass rusher. That clearly shows that, I mean, they see themselves as a contender, which I think everyone has to agree they are at this point. The move they make here is someone who they're hoping can absolutely take them over the top. And that's why I'm going to say it's going to be Johnson, because pair him with Von Miller, all hell breaks loose for Mac Jones, Tua, all the AFC quarterbacks there are. Just adds another level. As much as defensive back is in need there, I think if you're trying to draft a guy who helps you win a ring this year, Jermaine Johnson, and it's in. Well, never mind. Keep manifesting it. Kyer Elam. Well,
oh God, I butchered that name.
I'll save some face by saying we did just say that defensive back has been a major need. ESPN had Booth higher, but Booth has been, from what I've been seeing, has been slipping, oftentimes in the second round. I mean, Elam's a solid pick. Quick boost to the Cowboys for whoever they pick. Please not Jermaine Johnson. What a slap in the face that would be to you if the Cowboys get Jermaine Johnson. Kyer Elam, lockdown quarterback from Florida, 6'1.5". He's got a great wingspan. I mean, again, obviously the Bills are they're attacking their biggest need here. They need another defensive back to play.
Yep.
Yeah, to play across from Tre'Davious White. It's hard to fight this pick. It's hard to find fault in this pick, except for that it's just going to turn into another point. Jermaine Johnson has fallen so far. ESPN's overall 14th ranked guy. I think I had him at like 12th on my personal board. So we're at a point now where
12.
We're at a point now where any time that he is not selected, you kind of have to compare him to whoever was. Really hope the Cowboys do not take him.
I just feel like the Cowboys every year just get
value.
Just
you gotta
such
give that.
good defensive players every year. Just one that just drops so far. And it's
They
just
got
like,
Micah Parsons last year, which
Micah
was just
Parsons.
an insane move. I mean, I get Micah Parsons is a guy unlike Johnson, where like his actions off the field and some of the stuff he's done, in my mind, absolutely warranted him slipping in the draft. He's a good enough player now that no one's going to make that argument, but I think he deserved to fall that far based on his.
I can't
his
believe some of
issues.
these trade ups. They always
Yeah,
pick somebody
they're
that's-
trading up for guys. I mean, to be fair for the Bills, it was a minor enough trade move. I'm assuming they're afraid that the Ravens as we continue our marathon in the booth.
I don't see them taking Johnson. the only team that I
That
don't
absolutely knocked out my Wi-Fi. I was a little scared for the state of the draft board, man. So yeah, getting some thunder. Everything's stalling. I have lost all Wi-Fi connection.
see. Is our stream still going?
We have to. Hold on, let me try and get it back up.
Great.
As we continue our marathon in the booth. Wow.
I don't see them taking Johnson. the only team that I
That
don't
absolutely knocked out my Wi-Fi. I was a little scared for the state of the draft board, man. So yeah, getting some thunder. Everything's stalling. I have lost all Wi-Fi.
Great.
Wow.
I don't see them taking Johnson. The only team that I
That
don't see.
absolutely knocked out my Wi-Fi. Yeah, getting some thunder. Everything's stalling. I have lost all Wi-Fi.
I don't see them taking Johnson. The only team that I
That
don't see.
absolutely thunder. Everything's stalling. I have lost all Wi-Fi.
I don't see them taking Johnson. The only team that I
That
don't see.
absolutely thunder. Everything's stalling. I have lost all Wi-Fi.
I don't see them taking Johnson. The only team that I
That
don't
absolutely thunder. Everything's stalling. I have lost all Wi-Fi.
Well, nothing has happened yet. It's still. Oh, never mind.
Ooh, Tyler Smith.
Interesting.
So we talked about him a bit earlier as an option for the Packers. He is just a Evan Neal
I don't see
mammoth
them
offensive
taking
lineman, super raw. out of
Johnson.
Tulsa.
The only team that I
That
don't see.
absolutely highest competition level. I'm a little surprised here. I had him going 28 to the Packers.
Everything's stalling.
Honestly, difficult.
I have lost all Wi-Fi.
Well, nothing has happened yet.
As much as I hate to say it, like, I think the Cowboys
I mean,
stats still got good value here. Tyler Smith.
Drafts. Interesting.
So we talked about him a bit
Yeah.
earlier as an option for the Packers. He is just a Evan Neal.
I don't
man.
keep on taking
We talked about that one before the draft. Getting Trevor Penning.
Which would be great for an opposite side of.
There's been a Super Bowl of technical difficulties for us.
So
as
they have a
production
Smith
team.
on both sides for tackles. And they're both massive.
It's an ESPN stat, Lucas. Don't you dare speak of it. Every time they get into like the similar name stats,
Yeah.
it's the longest completion between a Wilson and a Wilson. Oh my God! I'm like, who the hell cares?
Josh Allen sacked Josh Allen.
Oh yeah, that was the big one. It's like, I know people like Paul out there love stats, but at what point have we gone too far, Lucas?
Okay, Bill Belichick. Put your hood back on.
When asked for just remember that this man, when asked for insightful commentary about the first round pick, about a player his team loved so much, they said, you know what, we are going to trade up. He said, it's pretty good. And he left. But again, shout out to Paul for crushing it with the production, as always, and shout out to all you guys watching. Again, I know this is a small scale stream, but just love doing it. No more hyping you up, Paul. No more Paul.
No one's watched. After we went dead, everyone went.
They'll be back. Too good for them not to come back. Get an infinite loop of Tyler Smith just shaking
Now
his
they're
head.
coming back.
They're coming back. Told you, they're coming back. So now Tulsa, interesting. Here's an actually interesting stat. Tulsa has now had, in the last 2 years, they've had a first round pick each of the last 2 years. That's more than Notre Dame, who's had 1, Florida State, who's had 1, and then Texas, Nebraska, Tennessee, and Wisconsin, all with 0. So shout out for Tulsa. I can't remember, they had a linebacker, Xavier Collins, linebacker. I think he went to Tennessee or Arizona. We'll fact check that, but hey man,
If my team,
shout out to Tulsa.
swear to
Yeah, Xavier Collins
God, if my
to
team
Arizona.
drafts,
Jermaine Johnson,
no. Where is he?
Desmond Ritter.
There he is. If my team drafts Cam Taylor Britt, I'm gonna have a headache for the rest of my life. Because he's inconsistent. He's got size and he's got speed, but he doesn't have consistency.
You want Cam Taylor Britt?
I don't want him.
But he's not really projected in.
He's projected second round.
He and Doman and Juergens have all been big risers in the pre-draft process. Been good to see for Nebraska.
Juergens the center.
As the Ravens are preparing to make a move that they've, I think, has twice been, bumped around and moved. Kyler Murray tweeting about how excited he is to have Marquis Brown, his college wide receiver actually,
Yeah.
in Arizona. And then you gotta like that one because, Brown has honestly been a bit of a disappointment for the Baltimore Ravens. But for the Cardinals, you need a receiver, and you want to keep Kyler Murray happy with your team. And this accomplishes both of those jobs. I'm really curious to see if we see more receivers drafted. Again, Watson and Moore and Pickens are
I
all...
wouldn't be surprised if Baltimore took one right here.
I don't know if I see that. If it's anyone, it's Watson. North Dakota State, 6'4". He has some drop issues, but just looks like another freak athlete. Big
But I also
receiver.
think it could also be Dean. Probably Dean.
Devin Lloyd.
Maybe Lloyd.
Devin
I
Lloyd,
guess I didn't expect him to be here this long.
Johnson and Lloyd are the two guys I thought were going to be long gone. Pulling up the old mock draft, which has been absolutely cut to ribbons. guys from my mock draft who are still available: Jermaine Johnson, who had going 10. We got Malik Willis, who had at 19. Devin Lloyd from 18. Carl Loftus, 21. Zion Johnson at 23. Tyler Smith at 27. Are the guys who are gone now, or guys who are mix of guys who jumped up. I just phrased that terribly. Willis, Lloyd, Johnson still available. Devontae White still available. Tyler Linderbaum still available. So they've been drafted. They haven't been drafted. I thought they'd be gone by now.
I can't believe my team traded out.
It really makes you question who you traded out with. Because if you had traded back to this range, if you were sitting here at 25, you'd be doing
I'd
real
be
well
so
for yourselves.
happy.
So now you're just playing the waiting game. 7 picks till Jermaine Johnson.
He's still there.
Ravens.
Every time you say his name, you let it
That's why he's saying it. I'm saying it because I'm surprised it's still there. Lucas is manifesting a starting defensive end.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, let's see. Patriots have the 29th.
And so many of these picks have flipped around now, it's hard to keep track. So I guess the Titans still have their first round pick. Which because of AJ Brown. Yeah. And man, I'm assuming that's going to be a much panned move because AJ Brown was a good wide receiver, borderline like star wide receiver.
I mean, that's more than what my team got for Stephon Diggs.
But man, if you've decided as a franchise we're not paying him $100 million and you can trade him and keep your first round draft pick, that's
wow,
quality.
Linderbaum.
Wow.
I did not
I like
expect that.
I mean, I had him going 24th.
So
The Ravens,
in-
they let their starting center, Bradley Bozeman, he had a good season, but he was getting up there in years. Let him go. Not the sexiest pick, but again, he's been one of the better centers to come out in the last couple of years. You got to love this pick if you're a Ravens fan, and you got to be going crazy if you're a Ravens coach right now. It's just a solid pick overall. He's an athletic center, a little undersized, which has been his what's kind of held him back in some ways in the draft process, I think. Smart center, really athletic, and he's coming out of a school that is really becoming known for producing quality offensive linemen. As much as I hate to give them credit for any possible things they could have done, you can't dislike that move, and they're producing quality linemen and tight ends every year. As we watch a video of him looking freaky fast coming out of, we just watched a video where he was running a pole, and he had some wheels for an O-lineman. I mean, he's not Cam Jurgens fast, but again, wheels. Getting to the second level, making some blocks. Titans just traded their pick to the New York Jets.
No, not the Jets. They're gonna steal my Johnson boy.
So now the interesting thing here is we have Malik Willis sliding. And we have if you look at the rest of the teams here, there's not a quarterback needy team here. Maybe the Buccaneers.
I think he falls out of the first round.
I think someone's going to come up and go get him. Because maybe the Buccaneers draft him. But other than that, it's Jets who have Zach Wilson. The Packers who have really are not in a position to draft another young quarterback. Patriots have Mac. Chiefs have Mahomes. Bengals have Burrow. Maybe you guys do it. Maybe you get Malik Willis and take that fifth-year option.
No.
But who needs a QB? We could see. I could say we could see Seahawks, Falcons, Commanders, maybe even Saints make a push to jump back up into the first round and try to get a quarterback. Because it seems crazy to me. Honestly, if Malik Willis falls to the second round, I'll be kicking myself for trading that pick to you just because I'd take Malik Willis at 34 every damn day of the year.
Upset a producer. Challenge. Hey, Paul, check out this production value. Look at this. Oh no, the set's messed up. Your picture's messed up. So the Jets so far,
Wide receiver, cornerback.
Shit, did the Wi-Fi go out?
it did.
No.
Is the stream off? My Wi-Fi's still up actually. Stream rolling.
It's still up. Unanimous All-American.
I'm curious to see what the Jets do here. You want to try to find that those trade details? Nope. I think I get it. I know you're gonna hate me here, but which team was gonna take Jermaine Johnson at 10?
The Jets, obviously. I mean, that's what I thought they were going to do in the first place.
I'm watching a man's soul leave his
Acquires
body here.
26 and third round for from Tennessee for second, third, and fifth round picks.
I mean, that second pick is only at this point like a 7-spot drop, honestly. So it's not, even though you're going from first to second, it's not the biggest deal. And that third round pick is going to be super high.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I don't like it because it's affecting my personal team, probably. Hopefully not, but probably. And I don't see what else they would pick because what are their needs?
Primary need now is defensive end, unless maybe they really like Raymond. Maybe they think
Linebacker.
Lloyd or Dean.
What about linebacker?
That's what you're going to have to cross your fingers for here, honestly. You're going to have to hope they fall in love with Devin Lloyd and Kobe Dean. But this is looking dicey for you, my friend, because it's looking dicey for you, my friend, just because this is
And I don't
This
think
is the
Tampa
Jermaine
Bay
Johnson team.
wouldn't take it if it makes it past them.
you don't think they'd take Jermaine Johnson?
No.
I think they would.
don't
I think
so.
Devontae Wyatt's probably their guy if Johnson's gone.
No. They take Malik Willis.
You have to wonder about it. Tom Brady is given pretty clear as the pick is in, and it is. Drum roll for Lucas. Prayers up for the boy. He's about to go through some shit. Intense joy or complete devastation. As ESPN just sits there and doesn't.
Fuck.
Jermaine Johnson is gone.
I mean, dang it.
The producer's on break. You can say whatever you want. Don't say whatever you want. But you can get away with that F-bomb. So yeah, absolute A. We've been talking about how this guy should be gone for a long time. We were talking about how the Jets could take him at 10. They just got him at 26. There's a lot of guys named Tony walking the streets of New York right now, absolutely losing it.
Yeah.
I mean, for a team that struggles this often, what do you think about Zach Wilson? Because we have to talk about him if we're talking about the future. Do you think what do you think his future in the NFL is?
I mean, he's got potential. He's got so much potential.
He has shown some absolutely unquestionable top-level talent as a passer. So now you have Zach Wilson. You just gave him a great receiver in Garrett Wilson.
Mm-hmm.
You got Jermaine Johnson, 26th, an edge rusher who's a top 10 pick to me, and to you.
Essentially, they got 3 top 10 picks.
Yeah.
With only 2 picks in the top 10.
Because, of course, you got Gardner as well.
Yeah.
Jets are walking away. Jets are about to receive just an absolute showering of praise from the draft community tomorrow morning.
Okay, so they traded.
Jaguars are trading back up. I'm assuming their first overall pick of the second is now gone. Yeah, Paul coming back into the studio. Good thing he wasn't here for Luke's terrible swear he said while you were gone. What word did he say? You'll never know, Paul. It's going to the grave.
Go back to
So 5 picks left.
You think Jacksonville goes for a cornerback here? Either that or an inside linebacker.
Unless they're getting a linebacker. That's a big need for them, and there's two good ones here. Packers under the gun, trying to figure out what to do here.
I don't like that GM. Should be fired.
You haven't even seen your first round pick yet, bud.
Well, it's going to be bad because it's not what I want.
Are we going to head back to the undisclosed location where the Unqualified Opinions crew spends their non-draft time? And am I going to find a Jermaine Johnson jersey hanging up in your closet, a custom-made one?
No. I don't buy jerseys. Jerseys for people who commit too much to their team.
As much as you commit to the Vikings, I think you'd have a jersey, honestly. And hey, my Matthew Stafford jersey's old, 6 seasons, he's gone. Maybe it's time for a Hutchinson jersey.
I mean, you can't go wrong.
Because right now, Hawk's the top option. Love that guy, but Sewell's a fine option too, but St. Brown, I don't know. I'll stop listing jerseys. The Jaguars are Jackson Hill's on the board, the top prospect from ESPN. I don't know if I see him as highly as they do. I think it's got to be a linebacker at this point. Which one is the question? But I'd say Devin Lloyd if I had to put money on it. Because Nakobe Dean, again, is big knocks. It's a 5'11" linebacker, despite the fact that he absolutely crushed it at every role you asked him to play at Georgia.
Yeah.
I'm impressed you've done this thing without water.
Drinking?
Yeah. Pick is in for the Jaguars, entering our mandatory 5-minute block where it says the pick is in and nothing happens.
I mean, I don't know. I feel like they're going to go for a linebacker here. Their linebacker core last year was not great. You know, their secondary wasn't very good either, so I could also see.
For me, Devin Lloyd and Nakobe Dean are the two best players available. And I think it's hard to pass up on either of them. But again, the Jaguars are just, I mean, they drafted Travis Etienne.
Yeah.
Like they could pull an absolute head scratcher, and it would not surprise me. The folks on ESPN's live stream are looking increasingly agitated. When the Packers don't draft the wide receivers, the Pro Football Focus quote shows the iconic confused Rodgers gif. We haven't seen anything yet, unless they're the. Oh no, they would have been the team that the Jaguars probably would have traded with.
I think they're going to draft a wide receiver late in the first round.
They have expressed, based on Devontae Adams and Jordy Nelson, they have apparently expressed their belief that they can take a guy in the second and make him a Pro Bowler or something. So that's why they're refusing to take a first-round wide receiver, despite the fact that, like with getting Marquis Brown over to Arizona, that would be a top-quality gesture. You give your disgruntled star quarterback. So, Lucas, overall, how has this draft experience been to you? We'll talk about first what you think of the actual picks.
I mean, of the actual picks, it's been, you know, a roller coaster so far because, you know, none of these picks have been what I've expected, except for, you know, like the top 10.
The top 10 was unusually calm.
They were
And then it
consistent.
went nuts.
Yeah, and then after that, it was just, I don't. Have you seen this many trades in the first round before? Because I don't know how many trades have happened so far, but I
really
feel like
couldn't
we've had
say,
like
honestly, it's been a lot.
15 trades.
And weird small trades too, kind of inexplicable trades too has been. I think that's what's been the most confusing one for me there. Like we've seen a lot of stuff happen that I don't get it.
Yeah, I can't believe that
I'm
Jermaine
excited to
Johnson
wake up
lasted
and
that long.
excited to wake up and make my own grades for this. I'm excited to see what the insider pro grades are. It's gonna be a fun one to evaluate. Since the Packers are up next, looking at the top available wide receivers, Christian Watson, North Dakota State, Sky Moore, West Michigan. Alex Pierce from Cincinnati, super underrated prospect. As kind of a 6'3" guy, plays in the slot, plays out wide. George Pickens, and
I
then
could see Pickens.
man, I don't think you're getting anything with Pickens. He'd be my least favorite first round pick if he gets drafted. Just to be real there. Ignoring my phone because it shows the Mavericks are down 12. No game 7. Sully, if you're watching this, I've talked too much trash about the Jazz and I don't want to suffer the consequences. I don't want a game 7. I can't take that stress. Anyhow. What are the Vikings doing here, bud? We've asked you that a lot. I
have no idea.
I feel like every pick that's passed, I've seen you get more and more depressed about the Vikings situation.
Well, it's just, I see all these players go by, and I'm like, we could have had one of these, especially Jermaine Johnson, being so good at his position and going all the way to 26th, and us not even moving up to try and draft him.
I don't know how that happened, considering edge rushers. If the Lions took Johnson too, I wouldn't have hated it because you can never have enough at that position. I don't like that our producer's always chuckling over there. I don't trust it.
Just put a poll in the chat for those of you watching.
Packers have not selected a wide receiver in the first round since Javon Walker in 2002.
Jaguars have finally announced their pick, or they're going to finally show us who it is. We'll see who it is. Devin Lloyd. Some guy with a beard is very upset, and his shirt is very bad. Put us on the ESPN stream next year.
Who is this guy?
Devin Lloyd, there we go. Crushed it. Jaguars didn't do anything stupid. Surprise. Crushed it. Love the pick. It's an A. Devin Lloyd should have been off the board a long time ago. 6'4" middle linebacker with speed and size. I guess only 6'2". They kind of adjust those college size stats. But again, he's playing against guys at Oregon who are absolute.
Yeah.
He's playing against, in this tape, he's going against Oregon, producing high quality offensive linemen. He's regarded as one of the best leaders, a good coverage linebacker for tight ends, and that's really what you're being asked to do as a middle linebacker now. They want somebody who can blitz. They want some guy who can cover a tight end going across the middle, and they want somebody who can maybe go into a nickel package. Lloyd can do it all. Absolute slam dunk for the Jaguars. I think this is going to be a pick where the Packers are looking at it and being like, no offense to Quay Walker, but I think the Packers will be looking at this pick and going like, oh, we could have had it.
Well, Packers are already picked. We got the pick in.
So small school wide receiver or confusing lineman? What's the move? Maybe Devontae Wyatt. I think that's the best move you can make at this point.
Confusing lineman. I don't think they go for an edge rusher here, though.
Top needs for them right now are still manifesting another Jordan Love. Jordan Love 2.0. Top needs receiver, guard, edge rusher, tight end. No tight ends, we can kind of cross that out. Again, I think unless they want Raymond to move inside, guard's kind of out of the question. Receivers looking a little kind of sketchy here.
I mean, you
Carl
got
Loftus,
maybe.
I take Carl Loftus at this point. Ebiketti's a solid chance. If you guys got Carl Loftus, you could be happy with that. Yeah, actually, if I had to look at edge rushers for you at 32, one of my favorite sleepers for the second round is Boye Mafe from Minnesota University.
Maybe.
If you guys get Mafe, I know you probably don't know too much about him, but if you get him, go home and feel good about that pick. Because I absolutely love him as a second rounder. So, and he's a raw prospect, so take him in the first, get that fifth year option. Other guy to watch too is David Ajabo, who would have been a top 10 pick if he didn't get hurt. He was the subject of some controversy because he tore his ACL, and scouts and general managers kind of stood there and looked like they really didn't give a shit. So that was one of the colder NFL scenes you could have seen, but man, I think I'd take a shot at Ojabo with these last couple picks here. So how have you enjoyed this experience? Because coming in, you're the ultimate untested rookie here. You haven't done any work for us before, except some behind-the-scenes camera stuff. Haven't been on air, and we kind of you were kind of coming into this camp situation expecting to be a third-string guy. You got the call. We decided to go with a little more size, a little more speed at the position, and so you stepped up.
Yeah.
What have you thought of it? How you liking it?
Honestly, it's not hard doing this. It's literally just talking about what I usually talk about, except there's a camera in front of me. I mean, it doesn't really matter.
The language has changed, but
well,
the thoughts
of
are the
course,
same.
the language has changed. Right? They have their stuff that they say I can't say. But, it's still fun. Even if I was watching the draft at home, I'd be showing, probably more emotion than I show now. But
I mean, that's what I really loved about doing this draft. We had, first of all, we came back for some technical issues,
yeah,
and it put together a stream to be proud of. And I'm here with two of my best friends watching the draft.
yeah.
Shout out to my girlfriend who's chilling here. Doesn't really know what's going on here. Doesn't want to be on. Wants to be on camera even less than Paul. But this is. I could be doing this at home on my couch with no cameras. That's what this feels like. It's awesome. Love draft day.
Ebeketi?
Ebiketie. He's a weird one because he's kind of up so high in the rankings because Mel Kiper, the man who you have personally claimed you could defeat 10 of in combat, Kiper's kind of single-handedly jolted Ebiketie into the first round because he would take him top 20.
I wouldn't have taken Ebiketie,
32, he could be hard to pass up on if he's still there. Maybe we need to start manifesting him to the Vikings. Look at the board now and tell me who do you want to see for Minnesota? Who are you drafting at this point? As we kind of get in the points where hopefully that is some really unfortunate hand positioning for whatever guys on ESPN. Again, if I have to pick one thing I don't like about the draft, it's the pick is in, and then we have to wait 5 minutes before we actually find out who it is. They would announce it immediately. It would streamline this whole process so much. So as we wait for the Packers, we'll just take a look.
I don't know if I would be mad with Booth at 32.
I'd take Booth at 32. I'd take Booth or Mafe if I were you guys. We got 5 teams left. It's the NFL draft, so that could take quite a long time unless we're rolling out early. We got Packers, Patriots, Chiefs, Bengals, Vikings left.
Yeah.
Packers are literally frozen mid-selection graphic right now. Like ESPN's looks like they got stuck buffering on that animation. Their guys are still talking. They're not announcing the pick right now. We'll hit the Twitterverse, see what's up. Man, Aiden Hutchinson's the Lion. Good to say. Devontae Wyatt should be the pick here. So no wide receiver again, not a surprise. You really shouldn't be allowed to go out on Twitter and complain about getting Devontae Wyatt, though. At that value, that's right where he belongs. He's a high upside defensive lineman. You can't and shouldn't complain about that.
Man, 6 minutes ago? How does it get so?
We're running on the fumes of the draft. See, you said it's easy. You do get this point. We've been on camera for 3 hours now. 3.5 hours.
I could have been playing video games.
You say that every time you do anything.
Yeah, and it's not long.
Go find this guy on Twitch. See him say unthinkable horrors while playing Rocket League.
I don't want to do that on Rocket League. Rocket League's not the game to play for Twitch.
Unqualified opinion
Why not?
esports coming to a theater near you soon.
You want to talk about esports? We can talk
I
about
don't.
esports.
I really don't. I could talk about it less. I never talk about it.
Yeah, so Devontae Wyatt, big boy. Out of
I
Georgia.
had the Packers getting Karlaftis at 21, or the Patriots. Maybe we just see that at 29.
With my team, the Vikings, draft Karlaftis at 32.
Oh yeah, if you draft Karlaftis at 32, you're getting a steal, bud. He's been another guy who's kind of ping-ponged around. He's been a top 10 projected pick at times. He's been a second-round pick at times. He's a power rusher. They worry about how he handles length. And the concern is they think he kind of disappeared from time to time at Purdue. I think like the most damning report I saw about him was one general manager said, or one college coach said, we came into the game looking at the film and thought we're gonna have to double team this guy, and we didn't double team him, and it worked out just fine. So there's some concerns there. Patriots picking in. He feels like a Patriots pick. He's from a small school. He's white. He's from Greece, so he has a weird Patriots guy background, you know?
Yeah.
It just feels like it works. Boy, Paul, you keep that camera pointed away from me for so long, and the moment I say something outrageous, it's producers, man.
Yeah, right? No. The Wyatt pick fits well. I still feel like it would have been better if they got an edge rusher, but you can't be mad at taking, someone of that caliber at 28th.
And Lucas, we are single-handedly staying for the whole first round because we want to see how you feel.
I'm gonna feel terrible.
Well, the good news is, again, you said that if you got a guy you didn't like, you were going to storm out. And since you're picking with the last pick of the first round, you can storm out, and we can just wrap up and go.
Yeah. I'm gonna go to Burger King,
I want more bang.
McDonald's.
Well, now we both mentioned 3 products, so now we're liable for a lawsuit. The stream will get taken down. We'll have to sell Paul to make ends meet for this channel.
I'll show you a lawsuit.
Please don't say anything questionable.
Questionable? There's nothing questionable about it.
We're watching ESPN folk get increasingly animated. Let's hit the comment section, see if anyone's still there. Give us something to react to.
See, your Herbert is trash, not your Bass or something.
Doesn't he have better things to do at MIT than trash on my basketball team?
You calling him out?
Nah, I'm glad he's watching. Love to see it. Hope he's doing well. I'm tired of looking at Adam Lefko, though, to be honest. Yeah.
Thought it was
It's Adam
You know
Lefko.
what? I know who they're gonna draft at 30.
Mavericks are down 12. Not phased.
It's Jason Fitz.
No way.
The Chiefs are gonna draft Breece Hall
That's surprising.
at 30.
Shit, I'll take it.
Paul will take it. A lockdown cornerback, and he's neutral, but Breece Hall, and he's just like,
He's a Heisman runner-up.
there's no way he was a Heisman runner-up. Let me see that stat on just the numbers with Paul Hires. Shameless plug. We love it.
Yeah.
Everyone loves. If you talk to your friends, the cooler people in your community, they're going to be listening to just the numbers with Paul Hires. No doubt in my mind. 24/7 bumping it.
Ridiculous. I'm curious to see what the Patriots do here because, you know, even
I'm
with
gonna
all
see-
these defensive picks in these past few,
I could see him take Raymond.
yeah,
He's got another weird Patriots-esque background. I'm just really rooting for some rapid-fire picks here. Each team runs to the podium,
yeah.
quickly picks the. ESPN quickly shows the pick. We roll through it. Graphic showing the Packers wide receiver depth chart. Their leading receiver in 2021 had 513 yards to his left. They've got Alan Lazard, another guy Paul likes from Iowa State, Randall Cobb, who is, decidedly on the down end of his career. And then they got some other guys who have less than 100 yards each. So it's a hell of a depth chart down in Green Bay right now. As they once again show the graphic of Aaron Rodgers just looking dead on the ground. But for the Packers, they just got the 23rd overall guy at 28th, so they've got to be loving it right now. Please win, Dallas Mavericks. Again, I can't watch these. I can't watch elimination games, honestly.
No
They
way.
freak me out too much.
It's
Who
not
they get?
for you.
Oh wow!
Cole Strange.
No way. Well, just when
Chattanooga.
we were dropping off, getting ready for sleep, the Patriots have made an absolute shocker of a pick with Cole Strange from Tennessee, Chattanooga. Now, I know you probably don't believe me when I say this, but I had seen some rumblings that he was going to go higher than expected, but I thought that meant 10 to 15 in the second round. Absolutely mind blown to see him go here.
And the Chiefs pick is in.
Chiefs pick is already in. They are preparing to select a running back or something. Cole Strange, overall rank is 77, so he's not included in that ESPN, first round conversation. Versatile offensive lineman who has strong tape, performed well at the Senior Bowl, tested fine at the Combine, run blocking guard. Coming from a small school, you're drafting these guys because you think they have potential that can be unlocked by a next level strength team, health team, coaching staff, and all that. Outstanding upper body strength, has a change of direction to mirror and recover when he gets caught out of position.
You're not even gonna
It's a Patriots pick.
Yeah.
I just said it'd be something weird and something white. Check mark,
Oh,
check
wow.
mark.
That was quick. Karlaftis goes.
To Kansas City?
Yep.
Oh, good job, Paul. So Karlaftis, an interesting story in that he's from Greece. He didn't play football till high school. And I saw an interview, they talked to him, and he was like, his whole family encouraged him not to play football. They wanted to play soccer or volleyball or tennis. Ended up having a standout 4-year career at the University of Purdue. His actual name is Yorgos with a Y, but he changed it to George. So I wonder, we saw Jason Owe from Penn State make the league and stop going by his Americanized name, and he now goes by Odafe Owe, which is his name in his home country of Nigeria. I kind of wonder if we'll see Karlaftis go to Yorgos, but man, that's a slam dunk for you, Paul. You should be a little more excited right now. You're over here being sad you didn't get a running back you don't need when you just got a top 20 pick at 30, Paul, and it is going to be rapid fires. The Bengals pick is already in. ESPN wants to go home. We want to go home. Hungry.
I'm starving.
But honestly, Cole
Still
Strange.
dead even on game 6.
Yeah, we're going to do it right away. But yeah, Karlaftis and Cole Strange have given a late jolt of energy. Paul, please, I'm begging you, brother, come react to the pick. You're wearing Chiefs gear right now. You woke up this morning, we're like, I need to represent my team for the draft. Hand that camera to yourself and let's get some analysis. Come here. Come on, Paul.
I have a camera on this.
What do you got to say, Paul? Break it down for us.
I guess the real question is,
That was a good pick.
who are the Bengals going to take?
Raymond, offensive line, is always. You could take this one, get Booth or Daxton Hill, get a cornerback to get Eli Apple's ass out of there. I think that'd be my first priority.
I'd rather not have them take a cornerback.
So I guess ESPN has Karlaftis at 37 overall, whereas Pro Football Focus, as we saw, has him at 10th still, and they recently updated it, so opinions are all over the board there. Converts takeoff, burst into power, nasty bull rush, can be an interior pass rusher. The concern there is always measurements, short arms. What's the biggest surprise to transition? What's the biggest surprise to the draft so far now that it's wrapping up?
Just the first one.
As the first round's wrapping up, what's the biggest surprise tonight? What's the most surprised you've been to see a player get drafted that high and that low, and then who should have been picked in the first round? We'll do those three.
I don't know if it's necessarily about them being drafted that high. I think it's more of just, the Lions trading up to get a wide receiver. I just didn't expect it.
Yeah, I agree with that. That's a big one for me.
If I thought you guys were going to trade up, maybe get like...
I could have seen Willis if he fell in the 20s. But I thought we were going to trade down from that pick, honestly, at 32. I think the biggest surprise rise we've seen, Olave was a huge one for me. Seeing Doxson go 16th was big. Quay Walker, and then obviously Cole Strange was massive. Jermaine Johnson is obviously the most surprising guy to fall. Lloyd and Karlaftis are there too. But I think the big surprise for me might be, I really thought we were going to see more quarterbacks taken. I know we've heard ad nauseum about how this isn't a great quarterback class, but that usually doesn't stop teams. It's such a premium position, you usually would see that trade.
Well, when was the last time you only had one quarterback in the
I think
first
it was
round?
the infamous 2016 draft where we saw E.J. Manuel get drafted by the Bills to
Who?
awful pick. E.J. Manuel from Florida State.
I don't remember that.
He flamed out for the Bills bad. I think he replaced Ryan Fitzpatrick, got replaced by Tyrod Taylor. So in a way, he set them up for Josh Allen's brilliance. But
Was that in 2018? Or 2017?
again, I think he was a 2016 pick. But
No, I meant Josh Allen.
I think Josh Allen was 2018. E.J. Manuel. Oh, he's drafted in 2013, so I was off on that one. But yeah, that's the last time I think I can remember a one quarterback first round. Now that obviously is still subject to change. We could totally see someone trade up. Maybe the Vikings are sitting there and just like, you know what, I'll pass on all that.
If I sit here all night just to see my team
And trade
drop
out of
twice,
32. We could be witnessing a career end here.
I'll just be crying myself to sleep.
We don't
need
playing
draft
Rocket
capital.
League
we
in
need
tears.
better players. We need to stop drafting these second, third, fourth rounders.
Malik Willis. Yes or no for the Vikings? Think about it.
No.
He's everything Kirk Cousins hasn't been. He has a cannon of an arm. He's mobile. He's electric. He's exciting. And he can learn under Kirk Cousins.
I don't want him to learn from Kirk Cousins.
Bengals looking at their offensive line additions right now. Ted Karras at center from the Patriots. Alex Kappa from Buccaneers. And Lyle Collins. So they made some significant moves. They still have Lions reject Riley Reif playing at left tackle. Maybe they see Ryman.
Riley Reif?
Yeah.
You mean the guy that played for the Vikings?
He played for you. Oh, yeah, he played for y'all too. Yeah.
Except he played good for us.
Played bad for us. Or at least, I think he wasn't terrible, but he wanted more than we thought he was worth. But I could see Ryman to the Bengals. You have to think their offensive line building is not done. Maybe they go absolutely insane and they take Cam Jurgens.
Maybe.
That
would be insane, but
would it be as weird as Cole Strange going? No.
As strange as Cole Strange.
He loves some wordplay. Do not assault the producer. That's the first thing they teach you before you go on there.
man, the pick has been in for 10 minutes.
That's how it goes, man.
Vikings are going to trade out.
Vikings are going to take Malik Willis.
Please don't take Malik Willis. I don't need another quarterback.
Taking a look at the best
We
available.
just drafted a quarterback last year.
Bengals hard to project because their only listed needs online are interior O-line. But N'Kobe Dean, Jackson Hill, Andrew Booth. Why not add to that defensive system? Get Eli Apple out of that starting spot. I think you take Booth or Hill here. Hill can play safety or corner. Dean's an underrated great talent. Maybe you do take David Ajabo and let him redshirt. It's weird too with him because he just got hurt so much closer to the draft than Williams is, so they had a similar injury, but just that big of a disparity in value.
Yeah.
Paul's smirking over there. What is going on, Paul? Do you have something you want to share with the class?
The Bengals select.
Cleveland Browns fan just said the Mavs are.
Your mom.
Man, if someone's mom's gonna date an offensive
Daxton
line,
Hill.
I'd pick a better one. See, there we go. Goodbye, Eli Apple. Again, versatile, safety and corner. It's hard to dislike this move at this point. And he was tested. He played against Ohio State, and those offenses frequently. He held up really well against a lot of pass-happy teams. Vikings pick is already in. Luke is very uncomfortable that it. I mean, come on. You've been waiting this long. You probably have some idea who it is. All right, let's make some predictions here, bud. Who are you taking? Who would you take? Who would you feel comfortable taking? Your listed needs.
Booth.
You're taking Booth. Another first-round cornerback. Your listed needs cornerback, guard, tight end, defensive end, inside linebacker. N'Kobe Dean. How about that? Boye Mafe. Take Mafe. It better be good because we're chilling here, watching, waiting. Just excited to see how you react to this move.
It's going to be interesting.
Do you want me to go on Twitter and spoil it, or do you want to wait?
No, I want to wait. Just please don't. There's no need for this. We still have Eric Kendricks, so I don't think we need an inside linebacker. Did we get rid of
I thought he just kind of dropped off in quality, honestly. I have no idea where. Like, this is one of the more interesting picks we've seen. Like, I don't know what to predict here.
Seriously, freaking stop.
Again, you're making this with 100% with that 34th pick in mind. That has to be the reason here. Which is, in theory,
Stop.
good value. I don't like it when the producer chuckles. Slumping in the seat.
I'm just trying to get your reaction.
You don't have to zoom in all the way on my face.
Well, if he wants to catch the blonde facial hair, he's got to get in pretty tight on that shot.
Yeah, I could, I don't want to, but Malik Willis is obviously an option. In fact, the top 3 available guys are always an option.
And Paul, always in and never announced. I just want to see you explode at this point. I want to see we've been building up to a dramatic exit. I want to see it. I really kind of thought you would trade this pick, honestly, to a quarterback needy team. Because, again, this is the spot you draft a quarterback, get a second-round grade on him, you get that fifth-year option.
No. I'm reading the fucking chat right now, and it is making me angry. Please.
Willis.
Go.
The people want Willis.
People need to stop. People need to be quiet.
So we obviously won't be covering the second round tomorrow. However,
Of the 2022 first round NFL Draft. Obviously, I'll tell you this now, and I'll tell you it again. You can watch us all day tomorrow. They'll also be simulcast
you're letting that guy cut me off, Paul.
but we will be
Disgraceful. So we obviously won't be doing anything for the second round. However, it is interesting to note that the Buccaneers have that first pick. They got that in the trade with the Jaguars, Vikings too. I guess we'll be picking second, so both of those early seconds got traded. So the Vikings get to go home and really think about who they want to take, and that's got to have some value. There's some planning you can do here. You get to go home and sob about who you guys got. If you guys got Karlaftis, it would have been perfect. Johnson, outstanding. Boye Mafia or bust. The pick is in. Allegedly.
It's been in.
Come on. I swear to God, they've just got to be delaying it so their talking heads can ramble about stuff at this point.
It has said a lot about the way teams develop and what teams are trying to accomplish.
It's fun too because you can tell these guys are also just kind of like burnt out of this at this point. There we go. I like that. Lewis Kine is going to be the pick for the Minnesota Vikings. Safety from Georgia. Smart, good leader, absolute headhunter at the safety position. So Big Red, $1 million question. What do you think?
Why are we getting a safety? We have a safety.
Football technically usually uses a two-safety system.
But we don't need another safety. We need a cornerback. Ah,
Dude,
stop.
okay, be quiet and watch the tape and tell me what you think about his game. Because I would have taken this guy at 32. That's who I had the Lions taking at 32.
Aggressive, violent player who, in addition to doing all of the things that he was supposed to do well, i.e. pattern recognition, making
Come on, look at that hit.
drilling and instruction on pattern reading at Georgia. It's straight from the Nick Saban.
You just got the best possible option there.
Really, really well. But look at that. Aggressive, recognizes the play ahead of time, and then when it comes to the point of contact, it ain't fun. It ain't fun. It is a bad day for
Come on, look at that. That is a flying over there. Come on, you don't want to watch that on Sundays? Or are you packing up to leave?
Yes.
What's your grade here?
Fucking
But here's the thing,
F.
it wasn't careless. It was a fully recognized
Whoa! There we have it, folks. Leading the rookie stats of several hot takes, 2 F-bombs,
3.
3 F-bombs, red and 3. Hey, keeping your numbers straight. Well, we've been on for 3 hours. It's been awesome having you guys here. Started off rocky, but thank you guys so much for being with us, for checking out a live stream. I mean, this is something that 3 friends just put together because we love doing this year after year. So grateful for all y'all's support. Thank you for giving us a voice to say what we have to say about the draft. On behalf of the producer, Paul Hires, the man, the legend, Lucas Sennett, Big Red making his big debut, Cecilia Barbosa diving the hell away from that camera. I'm Will Byron from Unqualified Opinions. We'll see you guys next year. Thanks for watching.
Packers?